The views expressed on this program are those of the host and guests and not the views of this radio station.
And you thought we was going away? Nah, it's Speak Out.
But let me just reverse a bit and say good morning to the listeners of Vibes. Welcome to the program.
If I stay within my setting as a public officer, as the public relations officer, and I stay just within the office space and do not go out to the public, how will we understand what is happening on the ground?
Still delivering.
We've done a lot, not just in terms of the general infrastructure, but homes, support to farmers, support to fishermen, etc. And as time goes by, more support will be given to Carriacou and Petit Matney.
It's Speak Out Unfiltered. Built back, even better to last.
Let us all strive to build a better country by putting aside our petty grievances and move forward with dignity, being proud of working hard and working together.
Anything that we're doing now, it's futuristic thinking. It's not for the now.
Education is the key in a country's development. That's it. If its people are not developed,
Even don't go that far, no? Just remember knowledge is power. When you know, you know.
that's it.
It's Speak Out Unfiltered.
We're happy to have you.
On Vibes 101.3 and 106.3 FM every Thursday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Do you feel the vibes? Going.
And we are feeling the vibes right here on Vibes FM. Good morning to our listeners in tune to Vibes FM. Those of you in the diaspora, good morning to you. And those of you outside the region, good morning as well on the internet. Good morning. Our Facebook lovers and our YouTube listeners as well. Good morning to you. The trial and state of Petit Matney, Carriacou, Grenada. Good morning. And neighbors next door, St. Vincent and the Grenadines as well. Welcome to Speak Out Unfiltered for today, Thursday, the 29th day of May. Well, we do hope that everything is fine. You're able to join us at this time. We suffered a power outage just around 9:30 plus this morning. And we've been trying to get back all the features in the program and everything when power was restored. And we're just about ready to go to the program for today, as you realize that. So we're going to go right into the program and say good morning to you, Koi. I want to say, first of all, good morning to you. How are you doing this morning? Good morning.
Good morning. I'm doing this morning. Well, I'm trying to stay away from the rain because as I went outside a while ago, I realized again that rain is pouring down. But however, that's on the outside. But on the inside, we are ready to go. I am excited about discussing the issues that affect us as a people, and seeing not just discussing it, but looking at see what kind of solutions we can we can bring to the problems that we have. And I look forward to it. Of course, my colleague and my brethren here, I see that he's also getting up. Guess he's excited, but he'll speak for himself.
So, Leo, good morning. Speak for yourself.
Good morning to all the listeners. Good morning to you, my Redeemer, of course. And then good morning to all the listeners within the Vibes range. As they say, behind every dark cloud, there's a silver lining, because after this blackout, we get in showers in abundance.
That's it.
And
I'm telling you, man, some welcome shows as well. Too,
Yes, and we need it. We need it more than ever. Because just recently, we had to be shopping for a tank of water.
Yeah.
But it seems as though there's outside today, several tanks have
been filled.
Yes.
Definitely.
That silver lining is here. So it puts one in good spirit. Those of us who didn't have water, here comes the rain. Here comes the rain.
That's nice.
So thank God for that.
Great. And not even as we are looking right now, the ending of May, and the rainy season usually step in around the first part in June. But it seems as though it's a little bit early, though,
No. There are times when I've seen season fall in May before, So,
Yeah.
and now the weather patterns is so unpredictable.
Right.
You know, you never know.
No,
But
you're right. Yes.
Don't be surprised if after all the showers and sun want to kill you. But
But it's interesting. We say sun want to kill you, but we never say rain want to kill you.
no, rain never enough. Come. As you remember.
So the more rain you get, the better it is.
Better, yes.
So you're quite right about that. The more rain, the better it is.
Yes, I guess.
Because we officially be going into the planted season as well too.
Because the great fits steal from Leicester. Say all this noise they're making about back then was GNP and GLP. They're only talking nonsense. Caribou have one government and it's rain. When rainfall government good wind.
I guess. But the idea of rainfalling now is to many people, and let us not underestimate this. To many people, they welcome the rain.
Absolutely.
To others, the rain is a serious challenge. And how do they respond to it? They like the rain too. But of course, the problems it creates for them would cause them not to want to like the rain so much.
Yes.
They mightn't rather the sun.
Well, it's Beryl cause that,
Beryl cause that.
Beryl cause people hate rain, yes. It's Beryl cause that.
After you come through the experience of Beryl, many times you see showers, and not even only showers, but if the wind blowing a little too strong.
Yes, when the galvanizer stop pulling, what you expect?
Cause
that.
We're talking about preparation. We're talking about the likelihood of rain and all this wind and things and so on. We facing head on in the next couple minutes, I would say, not hours or days. We're facing head on another hurricane season. Nobody's saying that it's going to be what it was then, because before last year, it wasn't anything. We just go through the period. But we are now facing square on, head on, the hurricane season. And already they have predicted, like they have done for last year, that this year is going to be above average weather. So again, it's a matter of looking forward and preparing ourselves. And for me, the operative word here is preparation.
Yeah, well, you see, we have to be grateful if nothing severe happens this year. But in the past, I remember after Janet was followed by Katie.
Yes.
Ivan was followed by Emily.
Right.
So
stop this.
Beryl might be followed by. Oh, stop there.
No, just asking Beryl whoever following you wedding, just do it in moderation. Take it easy. Yeah, take it easy.
Yeah. But it's that is a double-edged sword. That's what I'm concerned. You're recovering, yet you're preparing.
Yeah, you have to.
And I'm just looking at the hurricane names for the season, And the first one is Andrea. The second one is Barry. Barry might be, matching up with Beryl. Chantal, Dexter, Irving, Ferdinand, Gabriel, Huberto, Imelda, Jerry, Karen, Lorenzo, Melissa, Nestor, Olga, Pablo. That Provençal song is so good to me, that Pablo there, I like that one. Rebecca, Sebastian, Tanya, Van, and Wendy. Those are 21 named hurricanes that they have this year, for 2025.
Well, at least the names of the hurricanes does keep us sort of grounded. But if hurricanes want to adopt the names nowadays, I don't want to come and this Sawaku and this and that. And all this kind of sometimes I listen to some of these names. I say, what happened to Joan and Christine and Agnes?
I guess what the policy is, that I understand it, that any name storm that really was exceptional, they don't call that name again. So
they retired him.
You will never find a Janet. You will never find a Ivan. You will never find Beryl.
Maria.
And those things going on. So all the names are new names, because I remember last year Milton was one of the name storm. And but nothing happened. Nothing happened as far as storms and so on are concerned when it came to Milton. But the idea of naming the storm, people take that and make all kind of all kind of play. I would say name the names. But whatever the name is, the issue is that we have to prepare for whatever storm comes. Be it what Olga, all kind of thing. That's not the issue. The issue is whether we are prepared to meet Olga or Ivan or Emily. And I think that is the emphasis. How prepared are we to deal with these storms? Sometimes some of them come as category 3, some come as category 4.
Yeah.
Have we ever had one category 5 that you can recall?
As far as I'm concerned, Beryl was a 5.
Yeah, they said they were ghosts. That.
Yeah, because I see some readings, and some clockings of winds up to 190 plus an hour. And when you get to that 190 there, that's a 5, But sometimes you find those gusts, here, there, and but not consistent, maybe,
But whatever is going to happen, we wish that not just it is in moderation, but I think the most important thing, as far as I'm concerned, is for us to be prepared, because we are going to be the ones to face and to
whatever.
But as far as the state of Grenada and the immediate region, I would say, well, Beryl has been the worst.
Yeah.
Yet I don't know of any hurricane that was stronger than Beryl.
No, Beryl.
In terms of wind speed.
Beryl was exceptional, and Beryl came early. In other words, July. I mean,
July standby.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And they say August must, but
I
find Beryl wanted to wait until August.
No.
The 1st of July, not the 2nd or the 3rd or the 4th. The 1st, so July, indeed, standby are coming.
And but there's certain preparation we need to make, though.
Yeah, but
it's something that people should be aware of.
God, yes, but I hope that it give us a couple of years to prepare, because some people, some people are just covering back,
Yeah, well, we know that.
And cover yet.
Yeah, cover yet. So, or some people will say, well, they wait until the next one pass. When it stop passing, now cover.
They cover, but I mean, how do you know? How do you know?
I guess.
How do you know?
And back in 2004, when Ivan came, 9 months later, Emily was
Emily
right
gets, Emily came
was
as
right
well.
there.
Yeah.
So, it's unpredictable. So it's a matter of being prepared at all times.
I think that
in
is
the best way possible. But I believe that, what we should do, though, after the experience of Beryl, we should put plans in place now. I think we'll be able to handle anything, of the nature a little bit easier. Because we as a people, we've been very relaxed. We never went through any severe storms, for the past 49 years plus thereabout,
Yeah, especially here in Carriacou.
In Carriacou, yeah,
real serious storm was Janet. Last storm was Janet.
That's what.
Because
55. Imagine that.
Ivan spared us, and Emily was.
And spared us too.
Yeah,
Yes,
Emily
yes,
passed
yes.
more to the north, but we didn't get much. We got some damage,
Yeah.
even Ivan as well too. But nothing to talk about, to be, as what compared to what happened in Beryl.
No, but Beryl was more destructive to us here in Carriacou than Ivan, Ivan
specifically
did all
head-on hit.
He did the mainland.
Yes,
Yeah, right,
yes.
yeah.
But as far as Carriacou is concerned, Carriacou got off like a fat rat with Ivan.
Yeah.
And Beryl was more destructive than Ivan in Carriacou.
Well, Beryl, as a matter of fact, if you remember, passed directly over Carriacou. The eye and everything like that,
Yes.
The eye, the nose, the mouth,
everything.
Well, the face.
The
the
face.
face. Everything passed through Kaiko.
Welcome to see us.
Because when you really look back at it and you try to reflect on the situation, Beryl really seems to have had Kaiko in mind, because he doesn't deviate left to right. He just came head on, straight on. Look at even this St. Vincent and the Grenadines. They two our neighbors, Union Island, but I don't think they have had the blunt. They have had the full blunt of
Are you kidding me?
Well, I mean,
Union Island in particular, and Myro.
Yeah, man, they got it. They got it.
Huh?
They got it.
the same blunt as how we had it.
Yeah. You see, because of the fact that the eye of the hurricane was about, I think it was 70 or 80 miles. It was that.
Yeah, so that,
a lot of miles. I don't remember the exact
that
number.
going off quite a bit.
Going south, you're going nuts.
So it's the Grenadines then?
Yeah, the Grenadines.
It's the
Basically,
Grenadines.
it was the Grenadines. Yeah.
It was the Grenadines.
If you remember, the tip of the iceberg, when I say iceberg, I mean the
Yeah.
Beryl touch the northern part of Grenada.
Northern part,
And that-
and us, and that's the Grenadines.
that's the outer feeder bands of the hurricane. So which means now with a hurricane sometimes 100 miles wide, thereabout, it shoot all the way up to the edge of St. Vincent.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So it was centered around the Grenadines.
Yes, but
It's a Grenadine storm because St. Vincent mainland wasn't as affected.
Yeah,
as
because
what
again,
happened.
just like the northern part of Grenada, they got a
Yes.
little bit more
Yeah.
because it's more to the south.
Mhm.
But to the north, they didn't do as much at St. Vincent Plus.
Mhm.
So they just got some little winds and rain and, a little flooding here and there. Nothing to really talk about, but we got the blunt of it.
Mhm.
And we got the eye,
Yes, so
Yeah, I had a
the
storm.
real eye.
that means the St. Vincent must stick a big way. But after you live there, when you come and take from Canawan, Mairo and Karaku, a big man territory, we got blistered.
Bad enough. Vibes, yes. Vibes, let me take a call. Vibes FM, what we're discussing. Vibes FM, caller, come in. Caller?
Pleasant morning.
Yeah,
How you guys doing?
All right, okay.
Fine, thank you.
Fine, thank you.
Well, I mean, my voice is very conspicuous, so I don't think I need to identify myself again. Eh?
Definitely not, Definitely not. We know who you are, Senator.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not
Yes.
and by the way, it's not a MP, not a MP, it's a senator.
Senator, yeah, I said so. Yeah,
No,
okay.
I know.
Yeah, well, you guys I just tuned in and I heard you were speaking about the hurricane. Unfortunately, last year when Beryl passed, myself, Minister MP Ron, Minister Delma Thomas, and Minister Andy Williams, together with your MP and Minister Tevin Andrews, we all were in New York.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it was God speaking to Minister Tevin. He left the Sunday morning because it was part of our anniversary, our second anniversary, and we were supposed to do a town hall meeting in New York.
Yeah.
And he left the Sunday morning. So I was kind of shocked that when we were monitoring what was taking place, and I said, well, we will have to come down. We got to try and come down. We were prepared to leave that afternoon, and I was asking Ron. I say, where is I say, all of us leaving. He say, yeah. He say, Tevin gone already. I say, Tevin gone. So when Tevin gone, and every time I have to ask the minister what if he had I don't know if God spoke to him to come down to be with the people and so on. But because he told me, he said he left when he came down. He took the Coast Guard and get up to Carriacou to be with the people and so on. And this is something that really, really, really touched me, because I was up there and it was like a nightmare for me, because not being there down here and knowing how those things that bring out that kind of adrenaline in me, because I always like to help, I always like to be in the forefront, and me not being there, I say I don't care which part in the world I did. Anytime there's a disaster, I'm making sure that I'm here. I want to be here with the people and so on. So, and that kind of thing, that this is the representation in which we want for people, not going and hide and ship and drinking champagne and them kind of thing in time of disaster. So I just want to commend the honorable minister for his stewardship. And he continued even after the hurricane and so on. You all are doing a remarkable job. Of course, there's always room for improvement and so on. And he's my political brother. So he was there last night at the town hall with me. He said I couldn't miss it for nothing. You always come and support me. I can do you that. So I just want to say hats off to him. So I didn't see him after the town hall. I don't know where he went. So if you see him, please give him my regards. So,
yeah, he told me after the town hall he's heading up back to Carriacou. So I guess he might be on his way or making preparations to leave as well. But that's
right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But as you just mentioned there, what transpired with you guys in New York last year, and the way he just disappeared from you guys, just looking for him, he gone. That's it. I mean, he had to be with his people, and he just made it. He made all the reservations, and by the time he got into Grenada the evening there, that was the Sunday evening there, he was up to Carriacou on the Coast Guard, and within a matter of hours, he was at the emergency shelter there, supporting in whatever way you can. And when you have people like that, you have to commend them, because he couldn't see us going through this all by himself. He wanted to be with the people. If there's anything he could do, he was there to do it, and not hearing about it. And like you said, that was a big accomplishment that he did. We applaud him for that. We really appreciated that. Mm-hmm. Okay, Senator.
Yes. I tell you, he's speaking about that, and he giving me goosebumps. Honestly, but and every time I speak about it, I say, I have to ask Steph what caused him to leave, because we were monitoring, and I was still thinking, because I was scheduled to come down the Thursday before, but I changed my flight to the Monday because I know they were coming up. So I say, let me stay and for the town hall and so on. And we were making preparation for the town hall, but then I saw this hurricane was approaching. I said, okay, well, maybe it might make landfall by Monday or later on in the week, so I would have time to come back down. But lo and behold, look at what happened, and in a matter of minutes or hours, man.
That was something.
I really hope that we don't have to experience something like that in our lifetime again, or maybe never. But yes,
this one,
but you guys doing a remarkable job. Keep up the good work.
Yeah, right. Okay,
thank you.
Okay, Senator, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a nice day. Thank you for calling as well too. Okay.
You too.
Okay, bye now. But as he just mentioned, Honorable Tevin Andrews, I think, and I said to him, I think God spoke to him.
Yeah.
There was this angel that spoke to him. Listen, he said when he realized what was going on, he just could not stay in New York. If he had to swim,
come down.
he was going to come down.
This is a very interesting example of commitment to your people. Now, he came down. He did, and we were monitoring this storm since Friday evening, Friday night, Saturday, the whole weekend. And when it became definitely apparent that we're going to be, at least we are in the way, in the path, all the persons who were involved with NADMA were summoned, gather, because something definitely is going to happen. And in communication with the MP at the time, he said, listen, boss, once I can get the Coast Guard to agree to bring me up, no matter what time, yes, I am on my way. And so it happened. And the thing about the minister coming at that time, when he came, he got all those things done. The Coast Guard brought him up, etc. But when he came up, he didn't just come and say, well, let me go in the emergency shelter and try and pass this time, because definitely the storm was coming. He still had he still had that in him to go to various locations and ensure that the people who live in certain areas are safe. I mean, he even had to go at one time and get the police because they didn't want to move. He had to go and get the police to remove them for their own safety. I'm saying all of this to say that it's not just a matter of being in New York and wanting to come home, but he came home with a purpose to save and serve his people. Imagine if he had left them there and said, man, I in Carriacou, I ain't really,
Yeah.
But he went out in all the areas where it's prone to flooding. And he went there and they refused. But of course, he didn't stop there and say, okay, I'll leave it with you. Whatever happened. He went to get the police to remove them forcibly.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm saying that this is something that we have to look at very carefully. He is concerned about the welfare and well-being of the people.
Now, you are quite right about that, because he was, I sometimes said to him, I say, you were inspired, to be able to make the move in the right time. The timing was just right. He came into Carriacou. When he came to Carriacou, I got a call from him, that he was on the island. I said, what? I mean, you here? He said, yes, I am. And he says, I'll be getting in touch with you to get announcements out and to get information out to the public and whatever. And he did all of that.
But he came on Sunday, didn't he?
He came down the Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
then
and the hurricane was Monday.
Monday morning. And he came in Sunday and he landed in Carriacou just around just before dark.
Oh.
Just before dark. And I remember he touched all the shelters, he whatever, and then he ended up in the emergency shelter. Then he was on radio with me to assure the people that he was there, and whatever happens, advising them how to be safe. So there's so many things that went on, even up to the morning. Let me tell you, the morning of the hurricane, right around 6 o'clock, I spoke with him live right here on Vibes FM to the public, to let them know that he's there. And if anything, whatever he could do, feel free to get back, and be safe and encourage. Just the words of encouragement and just to be presence. I felt so good speaking to him in the morning, because I felt, like, we included, we have someone there staying with us.
Well, I left you on Saturday,
Yes, yes, you left there Saturday to go up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
And then you missed it. You missed it.
Probably, yeah.
You had missed it. He missed you.
But this is one experience I believe is going to be in the minds of people, for a long, long time. Just like Janet did, but most of the people around Janet time must have passed on already. But we and the rest of who've been around and witnessed it.
The one thing I still yet cannot fathom is how few the death toll is for Carriacou, noting the severity of the storm. Because in Janet we lost 30-something people.
39.
Yeah.
So, and in Beryl 3.
Yeah, but you know what saved us? I keep saying this all the time, because Beryl, to the mercy of God, it passed in the day.
Morning time too.
Morning time, because when we expected it to make landfall maybe around 4 or 5 in the morning. And when I woke up the morning, sleep the night, I said, well, nothing happened. I said, maybe Beryl passed already. But Beryl didn't pass yet. When we got the update, I remember the Prime Minister get on there with Nadma. They had a live news conference, and they were saying that it's going to be hitting around maybe 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. So we still were on the alert, waiting for the arrival. And it wasn't a pleasant arrival, It wasn't a pleasant arrival. No.
You see, Janet was, think about Janet. Janet was lingered for a while,
You experienced Janet, right?
Because, yes, Janet,
yeah.
because the winds were getting high since 1, 2 o'clock a day.
Yeah.
Because I could remember Lidina was then the mail boat. And Lidina left from St. George's in the morning at 9 o'clock. Wasn't bad speed for that time of...
Yeah.
And they didn't come to Hillsborough, They went straight to the Carnage, in Abbeville.
Right.
And people, I could remember, people have to leave all the belongings. Just get off. So people, not even their suitcase they didn't get. So Lidina stayed in the Carnage there. And it sunk right there,
Oh, yeah.
The morning all I could see, the 2 cross between the mast, sunk right in the Carnage. But look at 3 boats in Carnage at the time. Lidina, Principal, Esoruba. Lidina sunk right there. Principal climbed all the mangrove, end up on dry land. And Mr. Esoruba on dry land in Mustic.
What?
Oh, you get there?
Yes.
What you get there?
Dry land in Mustic. All mass, all sail, everything loose, just the hull. They get it in Mustic. I could remember seeing them going down the harbor there, like a little boat. Yeah, they go and get it in Mustic. And the thing is, in those times, years ago, when they brought it boats to Carnage to dock them and so on, they swapped a little fet when it's ready to go.
Yeah.
So they had the bomb in there and it's so nice and trim, everything clean up and ready to go. And it ended up in Mustic. It's still one of the biggest mystery. Noting all the reefs. When if he pass south, if he pass north, all the end up in Mustic. That's all right. Bonfield's father boat.
But all the way up in Mustic. Mustic and that close to Carriacou?
No, what I'm saying. No. I mean, yeah.
So you bypass Union Island, pass Myro, Canawan, keep going through the channels.
Yes.
Until you get to the east out to Mustic.
We're talking about Patrick and Saman, all this. Mustic.
it's amazing, some of the stories that you would hear, and it's
Mhm.
just unbelievable, but they're real stories.
Real ones.
Real stories.
Real ones.
And sometimes this is what we have to take a pattern from to know that whenever these disasters strike, be serious. Make sure that you try to be as safe as much as possible. And sometimes you have to forget property, because sometimes we're trying to save property, concerned about property, and getting ourselves in more danger than anything else. So
we, as I said, that we should not think about property. I mean, look at, for example, Leo just said, the boat. People came up with the boat and they had all the luggage, all things that they had on it, and they couldn't live with it. They had to skelter for their lives, and the boat sank right there.
Right there.
So all the possessions.
Long day.
Wow. It ain't easy. It would not be a good experience to
I'll
have.
tell you who Lidina is. Lidina is what you mean know as Emmanuel C.
Oh,
Yeah.
Emmanuel C. Yeah.
The same boat.
same way. Okay.
Yeah, changed him a few times. It was Lidina, then he went to Ocean Star.
Right.
Two.
I knew Emmanuel C.
Yeah, that's it. Same boat.
Same boat. Okay.
Yeah, the original owner Jabalat.
Okay. But that's it. So just imagine now, we now into the hurricane season. We got to be prepared. And like you were saying earlier on, the lives lost in Beryl was, just 3 you mentioned there. And that was a blessing.
Yes, 3 persons.
Just imagine that. Imagine that. If it was not in the daytime.
Well, all the concerns have been. I experienced Ivan. I experienced Ivan in Bermuda, and on mainland. And people are always saying that if it was in the night, there would have been a catastrophe, because you imagine the versus wind that we experienced and all kind of thing. No light, you ain't seen where you're going. Tree falling, wind blowing heavy. Definitely was a challenge.
It's not wind blowing, it's galvanized flying.
In the wind.
Yeah.
I know.
I would call them projectiles.
Yes, projectiles one. Yes.
But I think we're saying all of this so that we can really appreciate the fact that whatever happened, we hope nothing happened in the way in which we have experienced. But at least we have to be mindful and be careful, that we don't put ourselves in harm's way. Wherever we can protect ourselves, even though it's below our bed, protect ourselves is the point I'm making.
And as you just mentioned that we say below a bed, we'll sometimes listen to stories, and if you were to listen to people's stories from time to time, what transpired, every one of us has a story to tell.
Yeah.
Every one of us, and the stories sometimes seem similar, but it always have little ways, that you want to hear what the experience of that person was.
Not necessarily under the bed,
No.
because that's where we lost my good friend.
Well, I just use under the bed as
You might not remember him because Victor Emmons.
Okay.
That is Solomon and Godwin Emmons.
Yes.
There was the third brother, the one is Victor.
Okay.
We lost him. And the parapet of the house came in under the bed and crushed him down.
You just imagine that.
Yeah.
Boy, it's really like
Yeah, faith.
yeah. But we're very, very lucky, to have suffered just minor
Yes.
deaths.
In Beryl, I still can't get over it. We lost more people in City as in Georgia. We didn't Beryl. Yeah.
Oh yes, right. Yeah.
And for that matter, Voluntatis.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And we were not really prepared. And this is something I believe now that we should pay a lot of attention to, preparing for disasters of the nature.
You see, they were so far between, because I remember my father telling me about 1929 storm and 1944 storm. But they were just like tropical depressions in comparison to Janet and Ivan and the like.
Yeah.
But they were talking about how much more severe and dangerous Janet was than 29 and 44 storms, those who experienced that. But this we all lost lives in all these storms, but I can't fathom Beryl voice. It's a mystery. It's a mystery.
But you see, the preparation back in those days, there was not much of a means of monitoring weather patterns. So sometimes, when you see I remember, sometimes my grandfather would say to me, "Bad weather outside, bad weather outside." That's what we hear because there's no other way of knowing what's really happening there. But with technology now, we're able to see locations, see the wind speeds, and be a little bit more prepared than before and know what's coming. Because I believe that in the night of Janet in 1955, nobody really knew what was really taking place. They all knew, bad weather. That's it. Until it happened, then start getting stories. So that's the thing. But preparation, I say, is key. And some of the things you should advise people, make sure that you have a plan in there in the making, in case, just in case. What am I going to do? I'm here now. I'm not so comfortable, but if the storm is coming, am I safe enough to be here or to move to some other location to protect lives? This is something I think we should all pay a lot of attention to. And the valuables, because a lot of people lost a lot of valuables and documents and papers in Beryl. But now I noticed that, people have been speaking of getting containers to make sure that they have documents well secured. And, even though they will get a little bit of a water, but still you're going to have them in your possession. You could use them because sometimes some of those documents, you can't get them replaced so easy. So a lot of preparation needs to be taken into consideration,
And Kim, the preparation does not just have to be thinking about it, because a lot of times we think about it and we say, oh yes, it's a good idea. But literally, there ought to be family plans. Each family is supposed to have a plan to say, if that happens, we know what we're doing. Schools, of course, when it is announced, the minister and all those people would say, okay, send the children home. But there needs to be some concrete family disaster plan. What is going to happen? Children have to be aware of what the next move is. Everybody in the home, and it has to be discussed. So, because you could imagine the chaos when you don't know what you're doing and things happening. So the point is, let's not just say that we need a plan, but we need to actively get a plan in place so that we can know what to do when we need to do it, and so on. So it's on us. We know what Beryl was and still is, because we're still feeling the effects of it. So let's use all those knowledge and understanding to ensure that we are prepared.
Yeah. Well, do the best you can and hope for the best.
That's true.
Yeah. And if I should segue into, because there are some promises made and I'd like to sort of fulfill. Of all the festivals that we have Carnival. We have what? Maroon?
Regatta, Parang.
Well, Parang. There are 4 festivals, say major ones, but there's only one national festival, for Carriacou. That happens to be Carriacou Regatta. All the others are grand festivals, but the national festival is Regatta. So I promised friends that we'll be doing a bit of regatta reckoning and regatta explaining today.
Yeah.
So if you don't mind, if I'll just dive into a little bit of the history.
Yeah, definitely.
And then we'll probably segue into something else. Well, as far as I am concerned, and as far as I know, and even long before I came on this earth, regattas was taking place in Carriacou. The word regatta, though, wasn't in our vocabulary.
But what they were doing?
They were racing boat all the time.
Yeah.
And there were some famous duels that I wasn't even around that my father will tell me about, between boats like Rebecca Mitchell and Paul Mitchell and United Eagle, Scorian and all those boats, Prosperous and Minute and so on and so forth. But see, Carriacou, being the natural that it is for seafaring events. When Linton Rigg, and I must let you know that Linton Rigg was Jamaican, you know.
Yeah, we know that, yeah.
Jamaican, yes, but blue eye and white skin, as Caucasian as they come.
Mm-hmm.
He spent most of his life, though, in the Bahamas, and he was very much a part of the Bahamian regatta. And the Bahamas being so close to America, United States. I mean, when there is a Bahamian regatta, just about every segment of the world is represented, every country and so on. So Lyndon Rigg living there had his feel all his life. He's what we call a seat of the pants sailor. Spent all his life in boating and so on and so forth. And when he thought he had enough, he decided he wants someplace tranquil to come and spend the rest of his life. He had enough of the
ups, yeah.
So he came here to, he bought this place. And if he bought it, he listed it up in Meldrum up there.
Yeah.
And, he named it Tranquility.
Tranquility,
yes.
Tranquility.
Yeah.
And he took up lodging at what was then Imperial Haberdashery.
What was that?
Imperial Haberdashery is now the Moment Tavern.
Okay.
Sorry,
Okay.
I thought so.
So you see,
Okay.
that was Riggs' doing,
Mm-hmm.
renaming it when he occupied as a tenant. He called it the Moment Tavern. And so, because, no matter how much you feel that you had enough of a situation, but when it's in your blood, when it's in your DNA,
Yeah, that's it.
you can't help
You
it.
can't.
Too much is not enough.
Yeah,
yes.
Not too much.
And so, noting when he came here, every August Monday there used to be a boat race,
Mm-hmm.
Every August Monday. On the tongue side, you had boats like Prosperous for Vidal Escondos, Vespri, and Minetta for this guy Fleming. He came here and got married to Minetta, Aki, but he's originally from Anguilla. Where's where he's from? But big, stocky guy. Anguilla was noted for salt. So Rick's seen this thing, this little boat races, and so to pick a bite him again.
Yeah.
You want to get back. How beautiful it's going to be if there's a regatta in Carriacou. So what hit the airways that Mr. Riggs said he planning a regatta. And we are dumb as they come. We didn't realize it was regatta is a boat race. We couldn't Google things in them days. I don't have time. It's planning a regatta. No one of us knew what it was. So, but Riggs, because of his experience, I think people in the yachting community, he knew half and the other half knew him.
Yeah.
So you didn't find when Riggs organized his Carriacou regatta the first time in Carriacou, well, formalized this thing and internationalized it. There were people from all over,
I remember.
Yeah.
1966. 65, right, yeah.
And, well, he had boats from all over and the region in particular. I never realized that there were that many boats in Bequia. Because even though we know about Bequia was just another island up by St. Vincent. We weren't that tuned into Bequia. So when first they came in 1965, Riggs had the large yachts, the small yachts, large open boats, medium and small. I mean, the whole shit in there. The gamut, he ran the gamut. He had everything. I remember that Monday morning, well, not morning, but Saturday morning, what he did at the first race from Grenada to Carriacou was starting at 9 o'clock in Grenada to come to Carriacou. So, me, I must wake up early because I can't sleep boat racing. And true on the farm, the race started at 9 o'clock. The first boat to drop anchor in Carriacou was a converted 12-meter. You hear about the America's Cup?
Yeah, okay.
The America's Cup, those kind of standard yachts. And the yacht name is Flicker 2. It took Flicker 2 5 hours and 10 minutes to do the run from Grenada to Carriacou. And they started by the Lago, eh?
Okay.
Yes. 5 hours and 10 minutes. With a strong north wind and things, but it was still as a kite.
Yes.
He got here. And then, of course, we had people like Reginald Stowe from Beckway, had a boat called Invincible. Carriacou's representative, back that time, the long boat class, was a boat we thought it was the fastest thing, so it was named the Police Squad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And so it was all hype. Me and all got in the action because I just started walking. And we preparing squad for this big race to represent Carriacou. But the best squad was able to place his fourth.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys from Beckway, this boat called Invisible, beat us as the winning appearance.
Invisible.
Yes, Invisible. And there was another one from Canwan that ended up here eventually, Regina. They call it the Jitney.
Mm.
Yeah, fast. But to tell you about what that regatta had done for Carriacou. And Rig, he organized and the first three from 65, 66, 67, before he passed it on to local folks.
Right.
And back then, Beckway took in every class, in the wide, long open boat class, Invisible, Beta Satan, and Regional Stowe. And in the medium open boat class, you had boats like Country Girl and Move Up, built by this Reynolds Taylor. This guy, any boat he built, he used to come second. He's only for system. So that's yeah. So they were all part of the regatta. And this thing was such a grand affair. It's then that I got the education on how important it is, that festival to Carriacou. Culturally and economically speaking, you don't have a better festival.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I suspect that is why they have it as the national festival.
It must be.
Yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
Because I remember sometime, it must have been mid-80s, that we had the banks in Carriacou, 2 banks at that time, give us a report of foreign exchange coming into Carriacou throughout the year. And would you know that August exceeded Christmas?
Yeah.
Triple times.
Yes.
Yeah. Christmas was small to August.
So Christmas, but that's just to tell you the extent of this thing is foreign exchange.
Yeah.
And we didn't just have international yachts because we had, navies in this place in Carriacou.
French Navy, the Spanish Navy, the American Navy, the British Navy.
I don't remember the Spanish, but we had, from England, we had HMS Ulster. A French minesweeper, I don't remember the name, but it was here too. And we had another American frigate. So Carriacou was littered with sailors, man.
Yeah.
And they were all so beautiful. When they didn't happen the first year, but the second year, to see the representatives from the different navies march past down
Hillsborough
Main Street, in pomp and splendor, man. Those guys.
and for us, the onlookers,
it was.
They were so disciplined because we never see this kind of parades and things like that.
No,
but they were professional in whatever they were doing.
But it all goes to show when you know what you're doing, put it that way. And I said that Rig know just about everything to pull. And he got Carriacou and everything. And as I said before, he convinced me that is very important to Carriacou because as far as the economy is concerned, we could do it. But over the years, things got watered down. And even though Beckway over the years remained our strongest supporter, strongest supporter is Beckway. Well, in recent times, when the mainland came through, there was a Superintendent Bido. Wow, he helped us somewhat too. But you have then Tobago came on the scene. And Tobago gave us a nice punch. In the times when regatta seemed to have been faltering and going down, I think it was 1991 that they came here from Tobago and with boats, 12 boats, tug and barge.
I remember.
Huh?
I remember that. Yeah.
Good.
You see them lined up outside there. You couldn't believe all these boats came from Bakeway. I mean, from Tobago.
Tobago.
Mm-hmm.
Guy Buster Lumsden was responsible for, he was a business person. He worked in the business community, and he was sort of he was the glue for the sailors. He got everybody together. And now, well, we sort of strayed from that culture. And what is happening now, and which is detrimental to the country and the sport, is that there's too much depending on the government per se. Because when Riggs started, it was most of a private affair.
Yeah.
So Riggs raised all his money, got his sponsors, and do what he had to do, and executed regatta in a big way. That aspect of it we're yet to imitate. And you try to tell our people that if everything you turn to government for assistance and you're not going to help yourself, now it has come to seem to be that without government regatta can go on. But it's not true, because a lot of the people who are involved in regatta per se is a matter of a passion, because in no way in hell a government is going to be able to fund and execute something as a regatta, because it's a very expensive sport. That's a very expensive hobby. Mm-hmm. If you want to be in regatta, it's one or two things. You either have to have your money or your belly, or both.
Both.
Yeah. So it seems as though, well, this year, because of Beryl, we will not be having the usual, because the sloops that are mainly from Carriacou are all damaged. So you're going to take some time before they get back on stream. Hopefully next year we'll be in full force. So what we had to do now is to call on our friends from Bakeway again, who's been always there. We did long open boats to have some semblance of racing in Carriacou. Right?
Yeah.
And we promised that it's going to be a good segment this year. Mm. And I must tell you that in Bakeway for a while too, the thing was faltering, it was going down. But a good friend who lives in Delaware, we call him Nanan. Andre Nanan was instrumental in reviving what they call the legends now in Bakeway. And when you go to Bakeway and see 7 or 8 28-footers jostling for first place and that kind of thing. And the whole of Bakeway is consumed. So you could see people who have a culture and enjoying it and doing something good for the nation. I hope that the government of St. Vincent will try to encourage it and fund whatever situation is that, because in that Bakeway regatta, I would say that's in Vincent. When you look at Bakeway and the amount of people and yachts that are there, the country is benefiting from it, so that the government should see what it has to do to make sure it continues. Mm-hmm. Well, I am hoping too that in Carriacou, there's something that we have to do and try to get our youngsters to think that sometimes you have to be able to think for yourself and help yourself. It's possible, I wouldn't say like that if I haven't had that experience. Where there's a will, there's a way. And if that doesn't happen, Carriacou will lose its most important festival.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
To lose it, because if you see, not every governor, every administration that has that interest, but it has to be a people's thing, a community affair.
Right.
Huh? So
they have to get involved. They must get involved in that, to make sure that we sustain that regatta, because it's important to us.
Mm-hmm. Unless we need another Linton rig, to come on the scene, and with that same passion.
But he was one of those who was really passionate about the regatta. And I remember, coming to town back in 65, 66, thereabout, and it was very, very important for us to try to learn and duplicate whatever was taking place, but we weren't doing that.
No.
Uh-huh.
So, but I think we did the wrong approach to the whole affair, and because you see, as a place as Carriacou that has so much seawater, our youth, our youngsters should be involved in things put into the sea. But I mean, other than the guys from PM and a few guys from Carriacou that now are in just basically the tuna trade, we don't have more than that.
Well, that is the incentive. So all might need to happen is to find something that is an incentive, and that the passion and desire might increase. So the tuna trade is, I mean, yes, they're involved in marine life, but that has, it's not just for bragging rights, it's for survival.
It's a livelihood, and it's a good one too. But that again is a matter of using what you have to get what you want, and it shouldn't be. You could use tuna trade as a means of livelihood, and it's a very lucrative one, and it's a good one. You could also use sailing and other things put into the sea to increase your revenue and all those good things. So it's not just one thing. So you may have somebody who's not interested in the tuna trade, yes. Not that it's a bad one, but not everybody like everything. And then you might find somebody else who wants to go sailing and those type of things, and you could use that aspect of the seafaring for a good livelihood too.
Well, what has been talked about, recently, especially I remember the Prime Minister mentioned that a couple of weeks ago, is the idea of bringing into Carriacou, the boat building aspect, a school where you'll be able to teach and train people and develop their skills. Because this is one of the things that we noted for, seafaring. and that's it. And now, and we don't have enough to show anything that's here that represents us. It's sort of like moving away from us. So we should have schools, and we should have people trained, and you should be able to do most of the repairs and all this thing like that there in Carriacou by Carriacouans. So I believe that is something that was lapsed along the line while we are not at that stage as it is now. But I would still say it's not too late to get involved to make sure we sustain that aspect of the culture.
You see, something that is troubling me, or ability to do for self. Well, say, for example, you have some youngsters from Winod who in recent times, those guys who purchased and fixed up Winod Pride. It's a very good gesture, a very good incentive. What I'm telling to them, forget government. You could organize your own activity. You could raise enough money to help government.
Yeah.
Because in Antigua, for example, where their regatta is a big booster and everything for them, they have what they call the Carriacou sailing class, which is most of the boats are built by Alwyn, anyway. And they too, those boats are an attraction for people in the sailing fraternity. So the same way they'll go to Antigua to see those boats. I think I can't remember the names now. Sail or race with each other. Carriacou could attract people in the sailing world. And we being again in the busy sailing lane here. But don't put your hopes on government to say government money. You could do it and you'll get more money than government will give you. You could create an on your own money. You could look for sponsors, you could look for all those things. But we must be educated along those lines. And when you do it, government and all will be so happy about what you're doing.
Yeah, they want to partner with you. Definitely.
But don't let them take the lead. You must take the lead, and you do what you have to do.
But one of the things of taking the lead is that I believe that we as a people, we should be able to come together and form sort of an organization to start.
Easy as that.
That's it.
Easy as that.
Once we get that started, then we're on the right track now to building from there.
So what you're saying is
we don't have that.
Is importantly is the management
of regatta so that we can experience all the things that you're talking about.
Hmm.
Organize, plan, get sponsors and so on.
Mhm.
So we need that top quality level of management
Mhm.
of the regatta product.
But you know what that has to come, those things has to come from?
Yeah.
That has to come from the belly of the boatmen, not getting some people. After all these years and observing, say for example, a regatta committee. Yeah, a regatta committee is good, but the regatta committee must have some idea of, and not only idea, or a love for the thing, or they getting a salary to organize it. If you're not getting a salary, you must have a passion.
Right.
If you don't, you can. If you don't have a passion, and tell you with a passion, you could climb mountains, man. You could do a lot of things. And when that happens, once you establish and you have that discipline to establish what you want to do, then government will be happy to come behind you. You'll never have to be begging people all the time. Well, I want a sponsor. I want a sponsor. You're your own sponsor. You start.
Well, you see the way it started with the Lincoln Rigs, right?
Uh-huh.
It was different where outside of government had nothing
to do with it.
So, if we had maintained that, then it might have been an organized body right now. But I believe the dependency on government coming in to give some sort of support, and we just lay back on that. And that's where we have lost control and the interest of everything.
Yeah.
Everything has been
You see,
lost.
because even a lot of us didn't take a clue from Linton Rig. What he showed us and what he showed us was possible. We never pursued it. So eventually government step in to try to save where's the culture, and we become dependent on government. But it will vary depending on what administration that is effecting regatta. I could remember the 50th anniversary. The 50th anniversary of Karaoke Regatta. The ministry under Nimrod promised Karaoke Regatta Committee $50,000 to celebrate the 50. You know how much we got? 25.
Yeah, I remember the story.
But I said, it's all right. We're going to have regatta anyway. Because it ain't take government money for me to sell my boat. So we did it and it came out wonderfully. So you must be independent. And again, it's not always money in your belly. Once you have the passion, you want to do something, it'll be done.
Well, this is where we should go back to the drawing board now.
Exactly so.
Yeah, and start
exactly so.
Forming an organization to get us started.
Mm-hmm.
Unless we do that, we're not going to be able to move forward. Let me just take a call, a very important call. Vibes FM, caller, you on there. Caller, come in. Caller, welcome to the program.
Hi, how are you?
Not bad at all. And how are you doing?
All right, very good. Well, I just got a call from my sister in California telling me Uncle Leo is on. This is Andrew. This is Andrew from that way.
Okay.
So, yeah, I've been listening to Uncle Leo talk about the government getting involved in sailing and the people. I think most of all the people need to stop pulling down one another and uplift instead. And like he mentioned, but I'm the president of the club home that does the regatta. It's a private club, not no government thing. And sailing has been to the ground basically. And we went around and talked to the guys, who have the boats and stuff like that. And we back full force. And it's all because of the people who is helping with everything, people not pulling you down. Instead of that, they helping to bring it back. So, you need joint forces with the people on the ground, not pulling you down.
Right.
So I could see Karaku coming back because, I want to thank the people of Karaku, especially Uncle Leo, and I see Power was up and Beryl coming back in the game, so. And we are with Karaku. Karaku and Beryl has been together for a very long time, like he mentioned with Linton Riggs there. Mm-hmm. My dad used to be down there with Country Girl,
Okay.
So it's been a long time Karaku and Beryl have been sailing together. So I could see it really coming back, but the people gotta pull together and help one another, you know?
Yeah. Now, you're right about that, because I see it's happening in Bakeway now, and you are one of those using as a catalyst, to get them off the feet and start, moving again, because other than that, it's going to just die out if it's dependent on government.
But let me step in here. Andre, good friend, he spends his money as a drunken sailor for the sake of the regatta, but the money that he spends is not the main issue, it's the love for the sport. And sometimes that's
exactly
the love for the sport. So whether you don't always have to have money, once you have your belly and you have your discipline, you'll get it going. And it's wonderful to see where Bekwai Regatta is today. When you have all these boatsmen and the people that are consumed with this thing, it's really something. I wish Carol will get that fever.
We could take a page from them.
Yeah, take a page from them and move it on to. Yeah. Go ahead, Andre.
Oh yes, the people definitely love it. Like after Easter was done, which tourism authority, basically come in, step in and say, okay, they're gonna get the funds or whatever, which I'm paying the price right now for that. After Easter, the big regatta was done. The people of Bekwai say, hey, especially the boaters, and all the way last year, all those guys, they say we ain't had enough. They ain't satisfied because the competition was so stiff.
Right,
we got to do it again.
Yeah.
Right.
So we sail the next Sunday for basically nothing. And the supporters on the ground there, we pick up over $2,000, almost $3,000 from the supporters there to have that race.
Yeah.
So that says a lot.
Right.
And the other Thursday, the May-Day was a holiday. They didn't have enough race for May-Day again. And trust me, if I didn't have to come back to Delaware, we would have been sailing all also because Bekwai people, especially the people from South, from Paget Farm, they love this thing so much. They would do it every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Right. Yeah. But it's nice when you have people participating and cooperating like that, And like there's something in the boat racing arena, which way we say the bragging rights. Oh boy, you hear this? That's it,
Oh well, that's something. First hand, Beryl in Bekwai, like he was. I don't know. He's ready to build a boat, because the thing it got back into him. Beryl was always sailing and power, and it was really, like I said before, it was nice to see them back in the game with the double enders.
Yeah,
Uncle Leo, I want to thank you for coming up, also bringing up Skylar.
Yeah.
Skylar was a big part of Bekwai's regatta for years, and she's been out for a while. So to see Skylar and Ace plus back in Bekwai, that's a start again. That's like starting over.
Yes, well.
So we are like all the big boats. As far as I know, people could change their mind or something could happen, but as far as I know, all those boats are coming on for August.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would be nice event. I mean, you just imagine that. But Solio,
nice.
they coming for Skylar.
Yes.
They coming for Skylar. Skylar's a bad boy, man. she just need the rigging over properly. It was a hurry thing to come to Bekwai.
Yeah.
So we all know that she's not fully rigged. So yes.
Yeah. Yes, but
it's fun though. Most of all is having fun with it,
But even in Bekwai now, the boats are so competitive. You're not guaranteed first every day, No, it could be bluff today. No offense tomorrow. Sleep with the following day. Blackberry, the minute you slip, you slide. Somebody gonna beat you. So that is so good.
And I think and you're so right, Uncle Leo. It's like nobody is stopping there. They're not settling. And people fail to realize the expense of these boats.
Yeah.
We barely making it to rig one, much less to go. You lose, you're gonna cut a sail. You lose, you're gonna do something. You're constantly spending money in these boats just for the fun of it.
Yeah.
So
that's it.
And also, if we don't keep it going, what happened to our kids? What happened to our grandkids?
Yeah,
you got to draw a boat on a piece of paper and say, "Hey, here's what you should like." So,
yes, well,
anyway,
yes,
I want to thank you, even though this time we didn't place, but we always enjoy Bekwai, and the people are so very nice to you. What else could you ask for? You know, so there's enjoyment one way or another. Win, lose,
Yeah,
or
well,
good
we
fun.
asked for the whale and we got it.
Yeah. By the way, well, please, well, Lashy, I must expose this thing. I was a little skeptical, you know, because I can remember eating whale and enjoying it as much. But my good friend Lashy boy sent me some whale. Came, the thing is elbow licking good, not finger licking, elbow licking good. And
Man,
what is
this
that?
guy is he's good on everything, man.
Yeah, that's
Everything he touches is all good.
Rashid, what a welder, a builder. And anytime I see a vehicle, it's not a brand new vehicle, but the vehicle is in such perfect condition. I said, this is Lashy vehicle. Lashy takes care of everything.
Of everything, yes. That's who he is.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
I'm in Delaware, and you know, he and Justin, Rick, and Archie, those guys, they take care of everything. The boats, you know, I mean, I'm not there, and my boat is well taken care of. So,
That is so good.
these are the kind of person you want around, you know.
Yes.
To keep it going. So, yeah.
Hearty thank you to him. Hearty thank you to him. It's very deserving of that. But I guess you know that Tobago is heading this way for August too, because the whole idea of a jostle this August is remembering my good friend Colin Alexander, who the owner of Skylar, eh?
Right.
Yes.
Well, we met in 23. He was there for when we came down to Carriacou. Colin was there.
Yeah.
So, you know, we have to come and support, especially for him. You know, I mean, having a boat at the 28-footer, which is the 28 footers at the top of the tongue. And Keith Anderson in Tobago, which he's the guy I bought the boat from. My boat, no offense.
Yes, yeah.
He's supposed to be building one to come and compete, you know, in Carriacou and Beckwith. So this whole thing could come full circle. Uncle Leo.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Look, we went to Angola in 24. Me and some other guys from the Veterans Club, Rica and Lashy. We went to Angola and sailed with the boats down there, trying to see how we could get at least one boat to go down and compete with them.
Yeah.
So that's something else we got to look into. And by doing that, this whole Caribbean thing, this whole sailing could come right back. But we can't give up. We got to keep going.
And a profit to us. I just reminded the youngsters who made the effort to build us or to repair a sloop, I say, Winwood Pride. You know, because basically in Winwood we have most of the sloops. And in that regard, Benson Patrice leads the way, and I must give him all the credit. You know, nobody's perfect, but he's very, very good at what he does.
Power play, Glacier,
Everything is him. Everything is him. So now that we have hope, some other youngsters might pick up the disease to get in the boat building thing and let Carriacou be for what is known as boat building and those good things.
Yeah. And Uncle Leo. Yes, this should. I heard you guys are building a boat school in Windward or something like that.
Yes, that the government spoke about it, that they would be doing something. At least assisting in that regard to encourage the boat building industry to continue, because that is too important an industry to us to lose it. So it's visionary of the government to think, yes, well, that is something we should do, and not only in Windward, because nowadays that we always refer to Windward as the boat building capital in Carriacou. That never was. It was not always that way. Leicester was also very well known for boat building. Even more so than Windward. Oh yeah,
I didn't know that. I know they were like fishing, because Alfred Stowe from Beckway, he used to be in Leicester doing his fishing with his plane and stuff like that.
Yes, with the Terminal Limbo. Yes, he so Clarence is still on there.
Right.
Yeah, but
you mentioned Windward Pride.
Uh-huh.
I spoke with Floyd some time ago, and I'm happy to hear what they're doing in Pennsylvania.
Yes.
We actually, my wife and I, we are planning to go up there and compete against them.
You know,
July 4th. Yes.
You know, as you say, you could take them from the country, you can't take the country from them.
Yeah.
So if it's the boat they like, let it have the boat. Yeah. but we
Yes,
must, but we have to
interesting
just.
to hear. I really want to go and see what's going on, up there, and
Mhm. I might be there too. Don't be surprised if you see me.
that would be nice. That
Yeah.
would be nice.
Good,
Yes,
good.
definitely.
Well, say hi to the boys from Bakery for me and tell them we're looking forward. And tell them
I will.
Yes, don't expect to do
And how's
scale. What's that?
Go ahead.
Don't
No, I was
expect.
asking how's my favorite guy, Basie?
Basie there, man. Basie there. Well, we haven't Basie on the beach too, because when we have a festival in Caracol, for example, I think Maroon, they have what you call something strings in the city. And the people will be singing all these old country boys song and so on and having a good time. Well, this coming August we're having strings on the beach. So
Awesome.
and not only
the whole of Beck will have Basie, so they will be looking forward to seeing him.
good to hear. And then we have the guys in Domino Hawks waiting for you too.
Right. Oh boy, I'm telling you. All right, well, sounds interesting, and we're looking forward to coming down and competing, especially.
Right. Yes.
All right.
All right.
Well, thank you so much for your call.
Yeah, thank you, and have a good day.
No problem.
Yeah, say hello to my girl for me.
I will.
Okay,
All right. Michelle in California, she's listening right now.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Michelle and Lavon, yes. All right, good.
Okay,
bye-bye.
Take care.
Yeah, bye.
All right, bye.
Right.
So that is our international Leo Joseph. All the way in California, from Delaware, come right down. International.
This is a wide audience, sir. Audience.
Definitely, But it's nice, when we have this kind of thing happening in our region.
That's how it should be.
That's how it should be. And just like Andrew just mentioned there, it could be a regional thing.
That's how it has to be that way.
Yes, because we have what it takes. The water, we have it. We have the skills. Listen, that's it. We don't need nothing much more.
And the passion.
Yeah. Well,
so what do you think? I tell him, talking to my prime minister and my boy, when his name is Gonzal.
Yeah.
Get that together and remove this foolish immigration foolishness between the Grenadines. We don't want no immigration there. We want a single.
Yeah. That's it. Traveling should be much easier rather than going through this 9 yards from time to time. Make it easy for people to be able to move forward, because right here, we are one people. Half of Caracol lives in Union, half of Union lives in Caracol, related St. Vincent. What's all this? Sometimes all these restrictions and this, thing you have to go through. It wasn't so in the days, If it was so in the days, you would have never had people coming from Union to Caracol to seek medical attention. It was shorter than going to St. Vincent. It was just a stone throw away.
Our population is small. We could use every single person we could get. And I remember when there's Intercall and Union was included, I was happy as a pig in field.
Yeah. That was nice.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. Intersecondary, Grenadines intersecondary school.
Yeah, man. It's really something, and I would like to see it come back. Those things you able
the
to
camaraderie, really, we united, we friendly, we dialogue with one another. Union comes to St. Vincent, to Caracol goes to Union Island, back and forth. What's wrong with that? We need to move to that level, but it's government's going to consider. I know they talked about it earlier on.
Yeah, well,
but sometimes the talking needs some more.
Yeah, they're dragging their feet. They're dragging their feet. Time for us because
too much.
And I think if they give us my ticket.
Yeah. But let me tell you something. Speaking about the participation of Bakeway this year, Bakeway is ready to come to Caracol as of yesterday.
Yeah, well, you see, when you have a good time, and that is why when people come into your shows, make a little effort to be hospitable, and you wouldn't win all the time, but that will come back to you. That will be reciprocated, and we have that. I tell you, and in this region, we don't have a lot of things that we have in Northern America and Europe and so. But if what we have, and we have the seawater in common, and we could use it for enjoyment among our folks, why not? Why not?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
We need to move to that level.
Yes.
And as you just mentioned, speaking to Floyd, and I remember Floyd was supposed to be calling us today on the program too. Floyd, if you're listening, we want to hear your voice, because they again diehard boatmen, love for sport. They didn't. They invested the money in without pride, not to make money.
Who does?
Money is out of that.
Who does? Who does? Who does?
Yeah.
You think when somebody has a Leo Joseph, when I build a boat in my basement, I'm putting a container to come down. Forget what you paid for the boat and the wood and to do it. Just the container alone.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you win 15 races in Caracol, you can make that money. So, but you like it, you know.
It's for the passion.
You know, Kim, I tell you what, especially when you see the spring coming about, and I'm going up to the Bronx, I'm going along the FDR Drive, and I passed on the river there, boy. All I've seen is the jet in Caracol, you know. The water in town, how you looking and so on. It's in your way, we can help it. So,
yeah, but that's important. That's important, for us to start be rebuilding.
Yes.
So we have sort of drifted away too far from what it's supposed to be, and now we have a chance now to regroup ourselves and forget, as you mentioned, not a government thing, but as we the people, it's we thing.
Well, the Festivals Act of 1994, under which we operate, specifically state that must come from the bowels of the community. The people, government must enable and assist, but the people must be the nucleus. People must take the initial move and organize their festival and let government assist them do. Not as though government, without a government, you can have a regatta. You're crazy.
Yeah, that don't make any sense. No. But you said Tobago will be in the house as well too, which would be a big plus again. Because as you remember, years ago, Tobago used to be a big part of the Caracol Regatta.
Yeah, well, not only.
And when we used to even have there was another section in Regatta, the Misakoval, whatever.
Yes,
they used to come over.
Aquava.
Yeah, they come with a contingent.
Well,
Serious, you know, and they were supported by the House of Assembly or something like that.
Yes, it's Tobago House of Assembly.
Yes.
And do you know that there's, my buddy told me that there's somebody in the Tobago House of Assembly now that is partial to the bomb boats coming back.
Yeah.
And because that's the whole thing, since people like Mr. Lindo and probably Buster Longton is no longer involved, we think sort of died out, but we want to see it revived. Because and when the guys came here after Beryl, and those are guys who'd come here for regatta, and that's how they get the initial introduction to Caracol and people of Caracol.
Right. Rise FM, caller, come in. Caller.
Hey Kim, morning.
Leo. Yes, my friend. Yes. How are you, sir?
Man, I good, man. The weather too cool up here, man. I don't know if summer don't want to come at all.
Go. Take it easy. Come on, Caracol.
Home is home, you know. Home is home.
I know.
So
listen, right? I mean, I'm out of service. I was listening something earlier while he was saying, and I disagree with all you. 100%, right?
Tell us.
Where I was saying that we shouldn't have to be depending on the government to run, a festival. Not that we're depending on the government, because remember, the government in Caracol supports our festival. Carnival just gone there, and the government was supporting it. You understand?
Yeah.
Floyd,
how are we asking for
Floyd,
if we get this support?
Floyd, let me.
Hold on. Let me finish. Let me finish. Right? Now, what are you saying, Leo? That we should farm. We own. We did that. We did exactly that. We farm with little, group with name and everything. We go register it. But Beryl just come and he just make a whole mess of everything.
Okay.
Right? All what you're saying, Leo, we did it. That when time to ask for sponsors, now we go in as a group, as a body or whatsoever. We did all that. But again, as Beryl come now, Beryl just destroy everything. You understand?
Okay.
Everything. So the advice you're giving us, we was doing it. It's not that we wasn't doing it. Understand?
Okay.
Yes. So go ahead.
But we don't like the whole idea that we can't, have a discussion with the government, right? To a little help. That's it. We did win what pride without any help from no government or anything like that. We took up on we own and did that. You understand?
Yeah.
We did that. And then we was even in talks with them to try to see how we could get them men in Pitimatnik to do that too. I mean, once one starting Pitimatnik, I'm pretty sure everybody would try to contribute and try to do it and stuff like that. But all them talks that was happening before Beryl.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
So you'll give me a chance now?
Yeah, go ahead. Your turn.
Mr. Davidson, you're telling me all that we suggested, you already did it. So in essence, listen. In essence, you don't disagree with me 100%. We're on the same page, correct? Because all we suggested, you did it. All I am saying to you, I am not saying to you that the government should not support what you're doing. Not at all. Government should support what you're doing. What I'm suggesting to you is that you always make the first move and be independent, because you see, when you're doing for yourself, nobody can cut style on you.
Right.
And if you and if you intend to have something as you putting out money out of your pocket to fix a boat as Without Pride, you're not doing it because of money, you're doing it because of passion. That's something you love, that's something you enjoy. So who must deprive you of your enjoyment? Government? No. I am saying, and it's my experience, and I have proof of it. When you see you have what you have and you're doing what you do, and if somebody help you, it's good. If they help you, you still could do it. That is the position that you be in. Not to say, and nowadays I'm worried that people are saying, well, the government help us, so we ain't doing it. To hell was the government, do it for yourself. And when the government see what you're doing, they go jump in. That's all I'm saying, So
that's what we did. That's exactly what we did.
Well, then listen.
That's exactly what we did.
So then listen to yourself. Well, then listen to yourself, no man. If you're doing what we're suggesting, you can't disagree with us. Listen to yourself. I am saying
no. Where you see all the framing it like you see the way Ali was singing just now earlier, right? Like I'm in and out of service, right?
Yeah.
All the framing it like, well, we just sit by waiting for the government to.
No.
Not at all.
Nobody ever said that. Listen to me. You must listen though. When you listen, you must listen to what people are saying and hear what they're saying.
Yeah, but I'm just telling you how he come across. That's all.
Okay.
I'm just telling you how he came across.
He came across wrong.
Okay. But so it's corrected now?
Yes.
Okay, fine.
Yes.
And
listen, don't come, Leo. When you're talking like, I hear you mention Antigua too. Them boats in Antigua, them men is millionaires. If you like, we know.
Hey,
we know they are.
you are a millionaire too.
You understand?
You are a millionaire too. Don't look at what people have. You have the same thing.
Yeah, but when the person in Antigua is like,
hello. You with your 2 pence happier than plenty millionaires. Why are you living for money or happiness?
Well, we do it for the love, basically.
No, that's not what I ask you. I say, what you're living for money or happiness? You have a lot of people with money and you're happy, All right, well, right.
Happiness.
So
for happiness. However little money we get,
so you made my point. You made me point. Forget those who you think is a millionaire. Stop thinking about what people have. I'm a millionaire too, I don't want to make me a millionaire. My children, because I never bring police in front of me. So I don't care if they are 2% that is good. I'm a millionaire. To hell was who have what. I do what I like and what I enjoy. Life is about what you enjoy and not what you think other people have. That is our problem. A lot of times, look, me hungry as come. But Leo have money, Leo this, Leo that. Well, you're getting money. Nobody in Carriacou have money. I tell you so a long time ago. All those who think they have money in Carriacou, a little boy will go in the piggy bank and make you look bad. In the scheme of things. So don't do that. Let's try for happiness and leave people with what you think they have.
Yeah.
It's just not good. You're killing yourself for nothing.
But it's good though, Floyd, that you guys are making the effort
to
come forward and try to make a difference in the regatta.
And it's going to make you happy.
And we did. And Beryl, as I said, Beryl just has a whole...
Yeah,
everybody knows.
Yes. We know that. Everyone suffered that.
Because we was talking about we need to build our own double and win what they do.
Correct.
To go up in Bakeway.
Correct.
You understand? And then we was even talking with Dawson Pitimatnik. to do any pity manic too, because we can't live out pity manic. When race is concerned, pity manic is we know that pity manic is brothers and sisters, you know. So we was talking to Dos about doing the same thing too, and he was on board. You know, everybody was on the same page, and like I feel like everything was just coming back.
That's what it is.
You know,
and what they bringing back, Floyd. They bring back enjoyment and happiness to you. That will help you with your stress. And is that what we want to live for? Want to enjoy ourselves. I want to tell you something. People say, well, of course, you must have money, but money is not the only thing. Money is the only thing, and you're going to have everything the other man have. You could eat a good meal, your clothes clean, you live in. Sure.
But I'm glad to hear that, you know, them like them whole everything in Bakery came back. Everybody's on the same page now, and that is.
I must drag you up there. You was going back and see what's happening. But argument among when I said people, they excited, they jump from little children, you know, who should go about now? Old women, everybody involved in this thing, and they could see a happiness that this thing brings to people of back way.
Yeah, no, I listened to a little conversation, you know, among some women one time, looking at the race from the vantage point. And they on land tell them, go about, go about, go. I said, look at that. The guys racing on the COD, you know, and they're giving instructions on land what to do. And then when you're in them, you know, but it's just the passion, eh?
You remember
we just lost Flight. Okay. Yeah.
I was talking about my friend Lashy. He's a meticulous fella. He does everything. So he takes care of double bluff.
Yeah.
So double bluff is something to look at. Pretty and that. So he won a race and he just sailed very, very far away from people. I said, Lashy, well, boy, you don't win the race, you show off. Lashy, he tell the boys, he's wanting to have the prettiest boat, but then to have the fastest boat too, he giving talk.
Boatman talk.
Boatman talk.
Yeah, no, that's it. I always say that, you know. The race, after the race is completed on the sea, the race comes back on the land.
Yeah, and we'll talk for days.
That's
your happiness.
And in many instances, Studio, when they come back to the land and they're satisfied, they're going back on the sea to settle the score now. Yeah.
Have fun, man. Do what you like doing. Do what makes you feel happy, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, but you just mentioned, you just see what Andrew just said earlier on, you know?
Yeah.
In that after the regatta was finished, the regatta didn't finish.
Yes. No.
Next Sunday, seriously, let me go back again.
We're going back again.
And again, let me go again. Because everybody wants to be a part. Everybody wants to do something.
It's enjoyment you're looking for.
That's it. Vibes FM, caller you on. Caller, come in.
Thank you very much. Pleasant good morning. Thank you very much. I'm enjoying your conversation. I only just got for about a half an hour now.
Yeah, okay.
But I had an amazing miraculous moment just about a half an hour, so 11:25. I just came from land, and I was coming into my home in my wheelchair and approaching the gap, and there's this vehicle that was coming, and I had to give way. So I gave way, and miraculously the vehicle stopped. And when I looked at the door, I saw the sign Ministry of Agriculture. I was so happy. There were 9 of them in that vehicle. So I started to express myself on my disappointment and whatnot, etc. The lady sitting in the front, and she was very pleased. She snatched her phone and she tape recorded me. She listened to all what I had to say. You know, I'm disappointed with the Beryl program because whatever it is. Anyway, I don't really want to put on that too much, you know. I believe that the Prime Minister, this present administration, means a lot of good. It has a lot of good in it. But I'm worried about it because the fact is, all right, Morris Bishop, and he made promises to the people, and he did not fulfill. So he suffered. Tillman Thomas, I could never forget. I sat in Tillman Thomas's office with him, and I advised him not to get involved with 2 particular people who were either for the revolution. But he told me some history about what the Bible said and whatnot. I agree, probably it's good to forgive, but you must not forget. And as a result of that NDC administration suffered.
Hello?
Have to be the same way with this present administration. Y'all look, have a good day. I'm sorry too that Mr. Coy, if you were in Grenada, I'd be able to give you a nice food basket. Again today, logo, silk pig, bananas. Well, I'm getting a few things in particular because I believe there's a pretty elastic squad that is operating at this time. Thank you very much. Anyway, have a good day.
Okay, Carla, thank you. I will hold you to that.
Yeah, you better do it. It sounds good. It's healthy.
Yes. That's a food basket, is it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we need things like that, and people who doing production in the land, must be applauded.
Yes,
definitely.
Certainly.
So, Solio, let me get back to the discussion on the regatta. So now we have in plans and making, and you realize now that Bakeway is ready to come down.
Yes.
Tobago is ready to come up. Scarecrow just got to get ready to welcome them.
Well, I'm there. And
You want Skylar?
Yeah.
Miss Skylar here, we welcome.
Miss Skylar and his plus, and not, I tell you, not a pebble will be left unturned.
Yeah. What about the large deck sloops?
Unfortunately, we can't have anything this year because those guys suffered a lot of damage in Beryl.
Yeah.
Poor, again, as we said, poor 3 boats, and 2 damages. The one that survived best is Glacier, the oldest of the lot. But it's kind of depressing, and poor Timmy just couldn't find himself in the mood to go fixing boats now when there's so many houses destroyed.
Yeah.
People who want to give preference to the residences, and so I must understand that. So probably next year they might be back again, and I'm just hoping that the community will support them and get things back going, because I'll hate to see Karaku lose a regatta. If he loses a regatta, it can be a blemish on Karaku that'll never be able to cure.
Yeah. So most likely we may not have the Wrong Day Island this year.
No.
As normally we do.
What? No. Weather permitting, the long open boats could give you
a run for it.
Oh yeah, because as a matter of fact, the last regatta, there was a long open boat in the Wrong Day Island, Yeah, came second too.
Which one was that?
So long.
Okay.
So long. So long belongs to Alec Daniel, but he's a sailmaker. A sailmaker, and he's been very supportive of Karaku Regatta over the years too. Alec was a part of anytime they say regatta, Alec come in, and so he had a boat called Limbo. He took Limbo was a very, very fast boat in Leicester area.
Yeah, right. I remember that.
Limbo abused us for years.
Yes.
So Limbo ended up with Alec in Beckway. And it was doing damage there until we built its plus. And its plus got rid of Limbo because there was no competition there. So then he got Eclipse. So Eclipse and its plus is in the same class now. But he also has a 28-footer, which is so long. But so long is SEW. He's a sailmaker, not
okay.
SEW is so long. Yes, and then he also has one called, oh boy, 18-footer. Quite a boat too. So, and he's always here. Okay. Alex, so they'll be here. They should be here too.
But we used to have a class from Peter Matnick that was sold to the guys in Guav.
Not Guav.
In Guav, no. Woban, sorry, yes.
That was it's a sad thing to have happened, I guess, you see, when as the tuna trade became more popular, the guys turned to tuna, and I guess after when you're on the sea that much, when you come home, it's probably not it's not something that you want to be back again. But I think if you encourage them, all the tuna guys, to make a little boat for competition and fun, we could have it again.
Yeah.
But as you hear them mention, those, even though these very small boats, they're very expensive,
Yeah,
to build, because this glue and this fiberglass and this there's epoxy and this those guys nowadays, when they're finishing boats as cars,
No, that's it. You could look at the face in it like a mirror.
Yeah, and those things are expensive to give you. what I would have liked to see them doing pretty much is to pass on the boats to the younger fellas, because pretty much have a lot of people. Instead of selling them, they sell all of them. And what happened? The pretty much boys are much more skilled than the guys who bought them in O1. So when the guys in O1 purchased the pretty much boats, they shortened the masts. So you could see if you have a small 16 or 18 footer with a 30-foot mast or something, when that go to one other guy say that's too much mast for us, too much sail area.
Yeah.
So they cut it back down. Now when they have in regatta in Petit Martinique, invited the guys from O1 to come to sail in Petit Martinique. The guys came up, they said, but we're not competing with you. We're at a disadvantage, because you have a lot more sail area. Because there are only 2 boats left. I think is Soul One, probably Rage or Dragon. So only those 2 boats left. So I don't know. I hope it'll be nice if they'll revive that situation. The guys know there's a guy Frank who is doing model boats.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
Yeah, but remote control boats, eh? So I say what the world has really gone a long way. We had to swim behind boats years ago, but those boats those guys making now, you can't swim behind that. Forget that.
Why you can't swim behind it?
It's too fast.
You're too fast, man. You crazy?
They too
make circles around you.
Make circles, and those guys build. Those guys they have those boats 6 feet of mass and those kind of things. You can't swim behind those. And that's a very very big thing in Bakery, you know.
Yeah.
When model boat race. Go down West Can, let it go down the boat, but they start to chase them down with speedboat.
Speedboat going after them.
Yes, speedboat going after them, guys jump and turn them. Yes. But when you see that happening in Bakery again, it's more people than labor there, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything to do with the sea in Bakery. Coconut shell boat race, little children, people and DJ playing too, you know. Coconut shell boat, everything.
Right. I remember it used to enjoy making them coconut boat.
Mm-hmm.
When you peel the coconut
shell boat and grapes, with the grape slippers, the sail. Yes, this thing. Yeah. And even the corn cob too, with a feather on it.
Yes.
It's all feather.
Sailing is really.
No, I just speaking there, just remind me of my childhood.
Yeah.
When we used to do those things, you know.
What
coconut boat?
You see where Hillsborough Secondary School was built?
Yeah, there's water.
It was a pond there.
Yeah.
But somehow we call it grass pond. Every time I have to leave my house on Church Street to go up to Hillsborough School, I pass the front, I pass the back street. So you could take a little sail before you in the school. Mindful of the fact that you have to leave by a certain time, otherwise Mr. Nolo will take care of you.
But in Bakery, they have established a sailing club, right?
Oh yes, at the Bakery they had.
I remember when they were down here the last time, you know, they were competing, you know, quite a number of them.
Well, yes, and that went through, but now Andre, who just spoke with us, is very instrumental in getting the guys back together. So they refer to themselves as the legends.
Okay.
Yeah, so you find fellas like Arnold Hazel and Wayne Gooden and people like that. That's those guys who've been around for a very long time.
Okay.
Yeah. And well, of course, Alec, as I mentioned earlier, and now Lashy and the boys and them, it's consoling to see what they've done with it.
Yeah, that's nice, you know.
Yeah.
Because it's a sport, you know, that needs to, we need to keep it going.
Yeah.
This is our thing, you know, because we can't go in other places and compete in other areas, you know. But this is our territory. This is our passion.
Course, yes.
This is it.
You should, and you look at those boats that this video of those guys was I think it was Bluff and Blackberry thing and no offense. Those guys, those things look as world class boats, you know, huh? Yeah.
I don't know if you ever you watch them closely, you know, but when I see them those sailboats moving, you swear that they have some engines.
Yeah, those boats fast. They're fast.
You swear that they have engines. They're moving, you know.
Gliding across, man.
Full speed ahead, you know. Full speed ahead.
No, and you know, years ago, what we did, we kept what we call a sprit rig. Sprit rig you get some good speed from it, but it's not the most efficient to sail. I say like as a Marconi rig, the type that you used to see in America's Cup. But because those are a lot more efficient shutter booms, and so they take you to the wind better. But we have now, guys, when we remove from the spiritual, because sometimes somewhere you have to change. And the rig that they have now, but those boats, they're lightning fast, man. Lightning fast.
Definitely. I mean, it's nice when you see them moving on the water like that. Let me take a call. Let's take a break for a minute. Vibes FM, caller, come in. Caller.
Good morning, guys.
Hello.
Morning, guys.
Morning.
How are you guys doing?
Fine, okay. Thanks yourself.
Just listening to your program, and I enjoy the program.
That's good. That's Uncle Joe.
No, Uncle Joe.
Yeah.
Coach Joe.
Yeah.
Coach Joe.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Coach
Yes.
Joe Bush.
Okay, good,
Yeah.
good. Yes,
Yeah, and I think the topic you guys were just talking on, man. I could remember going down the beach in Mount Pleasant with my boat. And I've been from the Goumet Wood. I'm using the boat because it's moving too fast for me.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I remember my cousin Elvis from the point used to be making those boats too. It used to be really have fun. Yeah.
Yes.
Could you remember Morris Stella and all those? Because you remember living up in Gojos, way up on the hill. So when they have all the rest around the island, all up on the hills, running up to see
Yeah.
what racing out.
Yes.
And so I used to enjoy regatta, man. Regatta used to be nice. I hope that they have it like that again.
Yeah.
Hopefully I can make a trip to Caribou and regatta time again, so I could enjoy the boat sailing.
Well, that's nice. That's nice. Very nice.
Well,
Yeah, I'm enjoying the program, man.
yes. Isn't incidentally, Beryl got it on Maristella.
Maristella?
Oh,
Yeah.
oh my.
I remember
Yeah.
Maristella.
Yeah, Maristella was built by the
What's
list.
up, Companera?
Well, Companero been gone for a long time. Pong Companero and Meef and Butch and Dora and those boats gone a long time ago. But Maristella, I believe, foot for foot is the fastest boat was built in Winwood.
Yeah, it used to be the fastest boat, yeah.
It was built.
I remember they came out with a red and white one from Winwood. I can't remember the name of that one. That's the one that used to give Maristella some some competition.
But Maristella, yesterday we just lost it in Beryl. He ended up on the rock and he started rolling Winwood. Yeah, it was cool.
Oh my.
Yeah, Jassy Compton built it.
Yeah, because we used to start from point and run over on the rock.
Okay.
It used to be, it used to be fun. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, you guys continue the program.
Okay,
I'm
right.
always listening.
All right, thank you so much.
Take care.
Okay, bye. But you just mentioned something that's so Leo. Maristella
lost
finish?
Yeah. Mash up ended up on the rock in along the when you go from around where Tony McDonald has a shop.
Yeah.
Right? On that straight away, you're going there. You end up on the rock there, man. Mash up. No more Maristella.
I remember the name Maristella.
Anyway, Maristella used to be in the regatta all the time.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, she was very good in the around the island as well.
Yeah. So for his size, he used to be the neg man. No Maristella.
Maristella and Glacier, all these names, all these boats, and so on. I remember that well because I know it stuck with me because many years ago, when I was with the Gradient Voice, I remember I used to do the regatta and all those names, all those boats' names.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, Calypsy.
Yeah, Calypsy. All his names.
Yes.
Yeah, man. It's what it is.
Lady Rena.
Hey, Lady Rena was a good one there.
Yes. Judah just saw him here. Yeah. That was man.
That was a nice little boat, very nice little boat, and he used to do a lot with the boat as a work boat too.
Yes.
That's one of the reasons. I used to ask him all the time. I mean, some of the distances he would travel with that boat and the seas he would have to face. I said, why don't you put an engine? He said, no, but if you do that, he can't race.
Yeah.
And he was passionate about racing.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
In them days, you had
somebody's saying that it end up on the Long Bridge.
Yeah, that's what it is.
The same boat.
Maristella.
Yes, somebody's saying that it
But
end up on
that's yeah. And Filmo Polido.
Yeah.
Remember Filmo is a character upon, you know. I remember remember me speaking about Flickr 2, which came first in the first regatta.
Right.
Well, boy, Flickr 2 was good until one they called Ticonderoga showed up. Filmo say they put something on stock to be like that and end up with a plane. Yes, and Filmo said, that is fast like lightning. Yeah. He came and racing Caracol too. Yeah, Ticonderoga. I say, what?
Yeah, but this boatmen have a lot of talk, eh?
You too.
Yeah.
And because Filmo was telling the guy in Ticonderoga that I mean, here Filmo say you come here with a conte voit, you know, whatever that means, a conte voit, and they say he's sailing. But if you want a good vessel, if you want a good boat to sail, I could give you the ferry plus, if you give me your boat plus 10,000 US, you could get the ferry. If we have a little vessel, because as far as Filmo is concerned, it's the fastest thing.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Well, I just heard you mention there, Celio, about Flickr 2.
Flickr 2, yes.
There's a comment here now. In fact, I was waiting to share it. I remember this person says, I remember stripping Flickr 2 main mask in the GYS.
Okay.
And putting 5 quotes of vanish
on the mask.
On it, yeah?
Yeah.
And then in another post, he says that there was another catamaran called
Blue Crane.
Yeah. Yes. And it took 4 hours from Guinea to Caracol.
Blue Crane was owned by the guy Brathwaite, Lancapine.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Because Lancapine was all cactus and everything like that, and swampy area until they started developing Lancapine. Before Lancapine was Lancapine.
Right.
Blue Crane was owned by this guy Brathwaite. And then you had Zigzag with calcium stand up.
Oh, yes, I remember Zigzag.
So, yeah.
Well, there's something we were trying to do, so you remember all the names of the boat. I mean, might remember all, but at least, is it these names you see as we speak, and these names come up, people can identify. You can see people smiling. Oh, yes, I know that boat.
Yeah.
I know that boat. You know, I remember that boat, and we must try and document all as much as we can, all the names of the boats of yesterday.
Yeah. But it's a lot, you know. That's why you see when fellas talk about windward. I mean, you could, even though Lucky Stan, Lucky Mark, they were both built in Sotes, but they were owned by Leicester people. That's Maxim Edmond.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, boy, all the other boats were from Rebecca, Principal Lidina, Starlight, Faithful Star, Triumphant Star, Esto, Aruba. I mean, you know.
What were they built, though?
Huh?
The Starlight and all these other boats.
Starlight, I think Starlight sunk in Dominico, somewhere up there he sunk. And then they all gone. Faithful Star is gone too.
Yeah.
The other one is Trader's Choice. Manu Bartholomew. That was something to reckon with. Rhoda L is from and Mary Queen. That Rhoda L is somebody from Harveyville, you know, Boylendo.
Okay.
Nan. That was Nan Cross.
That
is Boymore. Yes. So
I remember like a United Venture.
Yeah, United Venture belonged to, well, I tell you about United Venture. United Venture, you know, Lad Patrice.
Yeah.
Lad Patrice had something called Sea Blossom. And back in the day, doing the trade between Caracol and Grenada was Sea Blossom, Tobago, Queen Henry Mac, and Sunbeam. Those boats here, all things. And Uncle Lad he had his Sea Blossom. And then he tried to move up. He started United Venture. Because Lambi used to dive to Billy Boat, you know. He had United Venture, but he couldn't finish it.
Right.
So the guy Fleury Fleury and Uncle Tom.
Right.
Jointly purchased it from thing and they finished and they call it United Venture.
Okay.
Yeah. There was
Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
there was another one, Catherine Isabella. And even then you had sort of Winwood Leicester connection, you know. Because you must have thought about Lawrence Steele, that's Henry Steele's father. Uncle Bai.
Yeah.
And his brother Clive Steele, that's all Steele as a father. They built a lot of boats together.
Oh boy. Yeah.
I was going to ask you, as you mentioned, some queen. There was Fleury Queen and Fleury King.
Correct.
Yes?
Those are the Fleuries up in Pitcairnage.
In Pitcairnage.
Yes, Fleury Queen and Fleury Queen. Fleury Queen was a good one. And before that, they had one they called Angel Star.
Yeah, Angel Star.
The Tat. Yeah. that one mashed up in Granby.
Yeah.
On that wreck in Granby, Angel Star.
So we have all these boats. We have all these experience with people who went out there, competition, friendly or not, engage themselves in that as well. And where we know, where we know, I'm talking about the fact that, it's not to compete in any kind of serious way to say, well, I'm better than you, but the fun of it.
Yeah.
And listen to you speak, I sense and I get the feeling of the camaraderie that takes place. And of course, Kim always used to talk about the bragging rights. But where we know?
No, but we see, again, boy, you don't see nobody building on wooden boats again. Nero built one, I forgot what he called it. I don't know if it's reliable. The last wooden schooner that I know it's going to be a schooner, but in that size. It was built by Nero, but Beryl took it away again.
Yeah?
Yeah, so the poor fella never, after all this time and all this struggle, put the engine in the boat and Beryl gone with it.
What?
Yeah.
Beryl went on a sailing spree?
Yeah, but nowadays people, there's so many little iron boats, big barges, tugs. You go in what they call it, the magazine and so, something and have, I forgot what it is. You could see so many boats that are available, and people have to go through all this
to build again. Yeah,
so that is taking
take away some of the boat building side of it,
yeah,
and into ownership straight. But one way or the other, still we have to try to see how we could keep that aspect of
You heard them talking about Golden Stream. I think Golden Stream was owned by Bill Olivier, I think, from Petit Martinique. But the one that, that every time I talk about it, must put a smile on my face, is Siflin J,
Yeah, I remember Siflin J.
Boy, that was our answer to the Halifax Blue Nose.
Yes.
Pretty vessel, man. And then you had, of course, oh gosh, his brother had one too. I will remember it just now. But then Golden Stream came lately. But you had Perseverance and Ferolina, Petit Martinique. All those boats.
Yes.
Unicia was the boat I was trying to remember.
Unicia?
Yeah, Unicia. Bill Joseph.
How does someone end up naming the boat? Is there any special criteria to say that we'll call this boat, as I call your child, a name?
No, some boats are named after the wives or the children,
Well,
for example, my boy Minetta. Well, even Unicia, even Ferolina. Ferolina was Penco boat. Penco, Arnold and Golden and them people like that. But he had something called Ferolina. I think I wife more than Jan. Lyndon had one again called Louis Kingcraft. Louis Kingcraft was something that he bought in St. Lucia, and that was belonging to Eddie King. So and Eddie King was Louis King.
Yeah, just that's the way it was,
Yeah, Louis Kingcraft was. Not me.
Yeah, okay, yeah. That was part of the culture.
Yeah.
To name that boat after someone.
A family member.
Yeah.
So.
So
like the one I mentioned a while ago, the Fleury Queen and Fleury King.
Yes, that's the Fleury boats.
Yes,
Well, there's this guy Maze from Montjalou.
Yeah, okay.
He had one called Maislin.
Yeah. But we have a lot of history,
Oh,
when it comes to
both.
boating.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what you look at, well, between Winwood and Leicester, I tell him, yeah, we plenty boats, plenty boats. And
And these are places, the boat village,
Mhm.
boat villages, Winwood, Leicester. There used to be in Belmont side too, right?
not that many.
Not-
That many. Only had what I know of Leicesterville, Britannia Nimrod. Elvin Nimrod's father, that's Prince Nimrod. He had one called Britannia. Son of a gun, he could run off, but he can't come to the win at all. That was Britannia. And but after then, the guys started building that T-Will build one. Little Desrin, that's his daughter. You know? Yeah.
Desrin still around?
No, that's Desrin not around. Little Desrin, but then you have all them Alexia boats and things like
1,
that.
2, 3, 4,
1, 2, 3,
5.
correct.
Go
Yeah,
up.
correct. But before that, you had boats like Mispa,
Mispa.
Redeem, yeah, just boats like that. Union Star. I think Union Star sink. And they make yours in Parang. It's okay, Union Star. You go below, you're getting wet. You come on top and you're getting wet. It's okay.
So you made Parang, eh?
Yeah, Union Star make Parang. It's an Morning Rose and Lago Queen.
Morning Rose is a name I heard already.
Yeah, that was one of the hottest Parang song in Brooklyn. When you see Leicester and Belmont and Haverfield clash years ago when they park in Christmas time in Brooklyn. We used to just parang in the road as though we didn't care, Well,
I guess you didn't have traffic lights in them time?
Huh?
I guess you didn't have traffic lights then yet?
Yeah, of course. But when you are going to tell you what, tell you when Dr. Caesar got married and he said he won the full Pitimatnik rights.
Was Dante Cake?
Hey, on Shepherd Avenue.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Dante Flag.
Yep. Unflagged, yeah.
And Dante Cake.
The whole thing, if you look at us as though we're crazy.
You get the 9 yards. All of it.
And he was in the road.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Shepherd Avenue.
Shepherd Avenue, yes.
Yeah, the parang game on. So,
all right.
Well,
yeah. Let me open up the lines again. In case you want to call in, and the telephone numbers to do so: 443-0101, 443-0101, 403-0101, and you can also call 458-1914, 458-1914. If you want to call and discuss anything, feel free to do so. The lines are open in case you want to participate. Okay.
So,
yes.
While you and something that we can consider and give the callers the opportunity to even respond to that. Today is the 29th of May. Yes, I didn't ask my question. I'm just speaking and saying today is the 29th of May. And I can recall last year or the year before, on this day, Vicar Mitchell was not yet the Prime Minister. He was speaking at a rally. And on this day, 29th, some of us can still remember, and our blood crawl when you recognize Morris Bishop.
Yeah.
The lights. The very first time the lights, and he said, "Morris, we love you."
The phone lights.
The phone lights. I mean, and I remember this day. The 29th of May. That is.
So, Leo, I think you were present.
I was present.
You were there, right?
Yes.
Yes.
The rally in Tempe.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
That was as you remember those things.
I tell you, when he did that, I got the same feeling as when I came from a Bob Marley concert. Came, I tell you what, there is something. There, you see this Bob Marley fella. I think there was some inspiration. He opened up for Lionel Richie and the Commodores, Madison Square Garden. But I get a ticket late. So my ticket was for the, what they call it, nosebleed place, quite up in the balcony.
Nosebleed.
What? And I said, boy, I had to get to the stage some way or some other. I break all security, all police the night. And before Bob Marley finished, my hand was on the stage, Yes.
That close.
When you're making joke, you couldn't see that because you know, in them days, 3 times a lady,
Yeah.
and them things songs were big in the States, yeah, man.
Yeah.
And Lionel Richie and the boys come down, Brick House and them kind of music like that.
Yeah.
But for the opening song here, all the way from Jamaica, Bob Marley and the Chip, natural mystic churro on your boy.
Yeah.
You know them guys, they embarrass Lionel Richie on the night, you know.
Yeah.
So the caption in the paper the following day, because when Bob Marley and them come, the fellas was dressing here with the jeans and so no big thing. But Lionel Richie and so with the white thing and sequins and all this kind of pretty thing, pretty close. So the caption in the Daily News was that like Bob Marley in jeans outshine Lionel Richie in sequins.
Bob Marley
in jeans. Yes, outshine Lionel Richie in sequins.
Yeah. No, that was big, yeah, when he did all that, yeah. And it was very impressive too, as a matter of fact.
What? Yeah, man, Bob Marley is fellow. I don't know Bob Marley, that inspiration, I'm telling you. So you get that feeling.
Yeah, and the same thing as Carl just mentioned there, you know, the feeling that he got there when the Honorable Deacon Mitchell, you know,
I tell you,
asked to put the lights out there.
Well, that time I was sold, you know. Because I came from New York the same day.
I remember.
Yes, man. And I said, we are going to the rally, if nothing else. And that was the highlight, I think. But I think that was so creative, you know, for somebody. Whoever thought of it, I know. But you must see this.
We saw the footage. I looked at the footage, you know, and I remember speaking to you when you came down, you know, and you said to me that you were going there. And I when I was tuning in, every now and then the camera would zoom in, and I'm looking for you, and I can't see you. But when I realized the size of the crowd, too,
man,
was just something else. And when the lights went up, you could have seen it even more. Better be the zoom.
Well, there are 2 rallies, the one in Tempe and the one in Las Ages, did it.
Yeah,
those 2 rallies get it too much. But by the way, I understand that I want to invite you to. I understand there's a meeting in Bogle tonight, an NNP meeting in Bogle tonight.
I didn't hear about that. No.
Yes.
Who's having that?
The honorable. The honorable Nolan Cox. But I understand there was a sort of I don't know if you should call it a testing of the waters in Montreal. There was a meeting there some time ago. They're very, very recent. So, I mean, the campaign is in full force.
Well,
full swing.
Yeah, full swing, but I didn't hear of that as yet. But, I mean, what I've been hearing on the ground is that they're trying to see if they could revive the executive and the campaign. So maybe that could be in the making for real. We're having a rough time, but they're having a hard time because you don't find much people interested anymore in being part of that support group, you know, that they have. The diehard ones, the ones that can't change, are the ones you're going to basically see there. But outside of that, you know, you're not going to find new blood and new enthusiasm, you know, coming on board to join them.
Because Kim, you have to be, I don't know, you know, you have to be blind, deaf and dumb to not see the difference and see the benefit of your little island. If you don't see that and you could still talk about entertaining just NNP for Carriacou, then something wrong with you. I don't care what nobody tell me. They could say what they want. Because, I mean, why is it that the amount of things that's been done here since this new administration took over, and things that are vital and important to the country. How is it that in 30 years you never thought of attempting any one of those? And then you can tell me you having somebody want to campaign to bring you back in power? Well, I don't understand.
Well, Carriacou has been left behind. And we sometimes refer to Carriacou, the former administration, as a stepchild. But I think even saying the stepchild still sometimes get better treatment than what we've been getting.
Yeah, but the behind this is too humble and to moderate a word. We were out of the race. We wasn't really behind. Behind is when you're in the race. Carriacou was out of it completely. I don't see.
And now Carriacou is getting his fair share. What held back Carriacou, The same Beryl, because we were on a trajectory, you know, at this time, would have been at higher heights. But Beryl sort of pushed back the progress to a certain extent.
Yes.
And we had to go back to the drawing board and start rebuilding. But what has happened over this last year, in particular, with the rebuilding of Carriacou? Carriacou has gone clear cut, you know.
Yeah.
If you listen to people who have seen Carriacou and looking at Carriacou now and the way Carriacou is moving forward, listen, sky's the limit.
But let me tell you, what is to be will be. Kisira sira. And I am telling you, the fact that Beryl came through was it hurt us, and we had some negatives that we had to deal with. But I am telling you, with Deacon Mitchell and his administration in power, I'm still happy that Beryl came the time he did. Because if it wasn't the other side, I tell you, a lot of us are still on the tarpaulin, you know. A lot of us. And it's sad, man. People must have a conscience in this day and age and to use people because they're not sharp enough to see what you're up to and to be thinking that they sympathize or empathize with you because you're vulnerable. Who said that?
Vibes FM caller?
Hello.
Yes, hello, yes.
Good afternoon. How are you doing?
Okay.
All right. Well, I call you all to let all you know that NNP is on the road now campaigning hard.
Yeah.
Because the opposition leader said that they preparing.
Caller, hold a second, please. Turn your device down a little bit. We're getting a feedback, like, you know, just turn it down a little bit and speak with us. Yeah, right. Song better already. Yes, go back again. Yeah.
Yeah, because NNP on the road.
Yeah.
The campaigning heavy now because NNP is saying that they're preparing for the election because the election could come before 2027. You know, so they're preparing because things are nice in this country at all.
Okay.
You know, but I believe they dig in their grave.
Right.
I firmly believe it's the grave they dig in because I don't believe Grenadians are so stupid to see what's going on and to go back and put NNP there now.
No.
You know,
I don't think so either.
Nothing wrong.
No.
Eh?
No, I don't see that at all. I don't see that happening at all.
I don't see that.
No.
I don't see that at all. I don't know how they come in today. You know? But one thing I'm saying is this: we can't sit down either by. We are still have to be on the ground, one on one. We have friends, call them, encourage them to support the party.
Yeah.
I firmly believe in that, so we have to do what we have to do.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
We have to do what we have to do. I want thing I know.
Okay.
So let us prepare ourselves.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So take care.
Okay. Bye.
Right.
Speaking about that, you know, I was just reading something recently. You know, a comment about the leader of the New National Party getting competition from the representative from St. David's.
Andrew?
For leadership.
Leadership of what?
Say it again.
Yeah. What they were saying is that she's been so impressive. I'm talking about the caretaker because that's the
caretaker for St. David's.
For St. David's, it's been so impressive.
Yeah.
That she's given the leader of her party, which is the New National Party, competition for leadership.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering now. I mean, Pews have been there for all these years. I mean, and if they are saying that, whether it's true or not, I don't know. But they're saying that she's giving a competition. They're in bad shape.
Well, that is possible because at first, what I was hearing from you is that she's giving Deacon competition. I said, well, what kind of madness is that? But if it's if you give peer competition for leadership, because that's not a high bridge to high bar to. That's not a high bar. I find so. No, that's a low hurdle.
But I'm just saying, how low could it be? I mean, on that side, because she's a newcomer. I mean, she's going to be what word you use? When we said that she was going up against the Honorable Prime Minister Yeah, I think you call it suicide, political suicide.
No,
Yes, yes.
that's not the one about fatted calf.
Yes, fatted calf is
and imagine that now, the comments that are coming,
Yeah.
that she's going to be giving her leader, yes, he's a leader right here,
Wow.
a hard time for leadership. I mean, really, if that story is true, then really, they in bad shape.
Well, that is good news for me.
Well, I know you're going to like that.
Well, if she giving the leader competition is good news, so
in what way she giving the leader competition?
Well, they say she's been very impressive. The word they used is very impressive.
Impressive on
the campaign trail.
And that campaign trail is in St. David. Because
no.
she is.
No. She's the caretaker for St. David's and caretaker for St. David's. Right. Yes.
She's the caretaker. So and Emmeline is not in St. David. So I'm just trying to figure out how is she giving her competition. Really.
Well, it's not for St. David's, it's for leadership.
For leadership.
Yes,
leadership. Yeah.
Not for St. David's.
So maybe the way she been carrying herself, what she's been saying.
Impressive.
Yeah, she's been impressive. Maybe that's why they're saying that. But
so that's why I'm saying she been impressive with them. It's not a very high battle.
But imagine the kind of bar you're going to be stepping as a leader of a party to go up against the prime minister. I mean, really, chalk and cheese, just like that. Because I mean, he has set so many standards there. I mean, the bar is so high. To reach that bar right now, it could be a big issue for them. Vibes FM.
No.
What caller comment? WhatsApp caller comment.
Good, how are you?
Okay, already.
Right. That comment there, I don't understand this one. I didn't know the word. Okay?
Yeah.
I didn't know the word.
Okay. Let me see. Try that again. Keep going. All right.
Yeah. Okay, some better.
Uh-huh.
I can't believe NNP supporters saying that, because that will show that they are already losing faith in the leader.
Right.
Okay, this young lady just come. Now, as a leader, Emmeline does not have that experience that they could boast about. But she just come in as leader, and to be comparing another person, younger person than her.
Yeah.
It shows that the party itself have a problem.
Yep.
So they will have a next convention coming up before the election. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So then it means that Lord TKM wasn't Peter David thing again here. Because it means that anything mashing up.
Yeah.
Because if the members have faith in the young lady over Emmeline, that problem. You see, I don't. Sometimes people open their mouth and make statements without thinking. Now, Kim in charge, okay? Let's say there are times Kim read the news, but Koi now come in and Kim tell him, well, look, I want you to read the Democrat news. And when Koi read the news, you hear somebody say, "Whoa, well, Koi better than Kim."
Yeah.
You see,
right.
Now, that could be said in passing, but when you go in the political field, when you speak that, you're talking about cracks inside there already, you know.
Right.
Well, the party itself is not whole, eh? It's still fragmented. They're still trying to see how they could join it up properly, that there'll be no cracks. But I don't think that is a fair comment for anybody to make. That is not. Where is the competition? Is there a competition for leadership in the NNP now?
Well, it looks yeah.
I don't support the NNP. Okay, as far as I see, they should be in extinction. But I mean, I wouldn't accept such a comment. The convention coming up and leadership is up for grab. I could understand that statement, but you go and speak in one rally and people comparing already. So something wrong there with that party and its members.
Yeah.
Now, I have an issue I want to touch on it briefly. I remember Dr. Mitchell, while you were in office, make seatbelt compulsory. Okay?
But at the same time, he did not make it law that all the dealers in motor vehicle should import seatbelts. You know, you can't really go to a dealer in Greenland and get a seatbelt for a vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, after a time, seatbelt was ravel. It was stuck on the edge.
Right, yeah.
And then it's stripping. So if you make that mandatory, and there is no seatbelt selling in your country, will you accept the police charging drivers for driving without seatbelt?
Yeah.
It shows that these people just do things without thinking. You can go in any part shop and get battery, get suspension parts. They bring in those things, but they don't bring in seatbelts in Grenada. So if you can't get a scrap bus that have a good seatbelt, you'll go end up without a seatbelt one day. So how that could be law?
Yeah.
I don't understand. These people they're blinded. Well, I was talking directly to the Prime Minister. He either demanded that these dealers bring in seatbelts for the vehicles they import, or you scrap that law. Because you can't tell me you have your vehicle to go to work, or you have your vehicle as your trade, so you have a bus. Go seatbelt selling in the island, and your bus has to pack up because why? It is law, so if you don't have one, you'll get it. That is nonsense. People must do better than that. And I would like that this Minister of Public Transport look into that. And one last thing, I'm not a carnival person, but sometimes based on what topic I had discussed, I touch it. I was listening DM with PM, and a caller call in and make a comment on a statement the PM made. And the PM seems to be holding fast with his statement. Carnival in Grenada start happening when it's sometime in May. Right? I think the first weekend in May or something like that, SMT does launch Carnival. Carnival is a season. The Prime Minister is correct with that. What you expect in the season, not the Carnival activities, is pick up against the job that will be playing on Sundays. But the season is open. Carnival is no longer a weekend in Grenada. Carnival is a season. So if you open Carnival in May, you start playing Carnival the following day till it climax whatever time in August. I think the Prime Minister should retract that. I remember during COVID, when Dr. Mitchell speak up against the guys that was playing mass, and he said that he would not be giving any money to them if they play mass. And a guy from St. David's came up with that song, 9 you lose your 14 feet. And that family widely support the NNP. And that song becomes very popular in Grenada. 9 you lose your 14 feet. Well, he's lucky he lost only 9. Now, the thing is, when your people doing what is right, and then you want to stop it, you have a problem. He played mass, I think the first Carnival after election, and the NNP gave him blows. But Grenadians get up and support him because it was the NNP who said, we are 110,000 jobs. He's included in that.
Yeah.
So now you're saying Carnival season open, but you don't think mass should be playing before the few days of Carnival. No. He already getting criticism already, and he getting from his supporters, and he need to retract that.
Well, but Carla, let me just make a quick comment there while you're on the line, though, because I follow the program very closely, yeah? And I think his response, he says, well, he totally doesn't agree with the jab in particular. And the reason he gave for that is because the jab seemed to be obstructing a lot of traffic so early in the season. And, so this is what he was saying, maybe we could wait a little bit before we get into that big hype. But I think he mentioned the traffic problem that they're having with the jab on the streets so early in the season that he was kind of concerned about that.
Kim,
Yeah,
I travel on the road.
yeah.
Now, I live in Ghana, and I going up to Vietnam and make my job. I make job 3 places in Ghana. By Sugar Mill, I meet them, 2 places in Ghana. By Sugar Mill and the Stone in Belmont. Okay? And they don't block the road, they don't obstruct traffic. And on Sundays, we don't have heavy traffic. When I go in Bolio, what we call Labari Hill, I meet them there. And they don't obstruct traffic. And on the Central Main, you don't have that build up in traffic. As I said, I'm not a carnival person, but let's do what is right. To say obstructing traffic on Sundays, I wish Sunday was a day where all bus work, we will not have no traffic jam at all. Monday to Saturday, we have traffic jam from town to Ghana. Sunday, we don't have that. So this is a poor excuse. And drivers could attest to that. I think maybe he speak a little too quick. If you open the season, okay, cricket season will start. You want to tell me I have to wait till hardball cricket start before I play windball cricket? No, you have no control over that. A season is a season. When Christmas season starts, what you going to tell people? Oh, don't buy toys in October. Or it starts in December. Don't buy toys so early in December. No. You can't do that. The season is a season. So get back to SMC. If you don't want the same mass so early, then let SMC start Carnival later. Maybe 1 week before Carnival time. And then you wouldn't have company with the people. Once the season starts, you can't tell people. We say planting season starts in May. So you go say, wait till August or July to start planting? No. The season is the season. So that have to be corrected.
Okay.
Let's avoid confusion.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for your contribution. 443-0101, 443-0101, 403-0101, 403-0101, and 458-1914, 458-1914. The lines are open. You want to call and speak and make your comments? It's no problem at all. Gentlemen, we've been just talking about, the Carrico and the meetings Coy just mentioned that should be taking place in NP campaigning already. But who is going to be representing them in Carrico is still questionable, Are you aware of that?
Still questionable?
Yeah.
I don't get that impression when the current deputy political leader of the NNP is actively involved, actively working on the ground. In fact, just not too long ago, last week or sometime, he had a meet like a tour, meeting constituents and so on. So I mean,
we're going to get back to that. we have a lot of calls waiting. So let me take this call. What's up, caller? Come in. Hello. Okay, let me try the other one. Caller. Okay, let me see. Hold on. Yeah. Caller, you're next. What's up, caller? Yes, go ahead. Yes, go ahead. Yes. Okay. Hello. Caller, you're breaking up. Hello, caller, you're breaking up a little bit there.
Caller, listen to you.
Hello.
The man speaker.
Caller.
The man can have no obstruction of traffic. Jab with jab. And Sundays, yeah.
Caller.
Yeah.
Caller. No, caller. You're speaking to us? No, I think. All right. Caller. No. Okay, you have to call us back. 443-0101. 443-0101. Yeah, let me take another call. Vibes FM, caller your next. London, what's up, caller? Coming. Caller. Yeah.
Hello.
Yes.
Good morning, Kim.
Yes, go ahead. Yeah.
The previous caller with the job and so on the street, or the job coming out before the actual Carnival Monday. Okay.
Yes, go ahead.
So what that caller is telling me, because the season is open, the pretty mass could go on the street and play Carnival now. I just want to know.
Yeah, okay.
Because there's order in doing things.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, the job is supposed to come at the Carnival Monday at a certain time. Yeah?
Yeah.
So if you're telling me the job could go ahead and have job every Sunday, that means the pretty mass could go on the street and have mass anytime too before Carnival. Okay?
Yeah.
I hear you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm trying to take another call.
That's anti-job.
Vibes FM? Caller? Okay, doc. All right. The comment that was made there, it's sort of making people, start airing their concerns or views or whatever,
Yeah.
As to whether jab is should be played or shouldn't be played or whatever, things like that. But I listen because I do a lot of following in the media, and I didn't get that sort of impression when he mentioned about the jab being on the street so early, and he was basically giving his opinion about it. He didn't say it should not happen, but he was saying, that in his view, you think it's a little bit premature for that to be taking place. But anyway, let me take another call here. Vibes FM, next caller you on. Caller, come in. Caller? Hello? Yeah, hello, yes.
How are you?
Okay, not bad. All righty.
I would like to, I'm a concern with a situation developing in Las Vegas on the beach where the hotels are being built. I hope that the government, if they don't start yet, take a serious look at the situation developing there on the beach. There's a high water mark of some whatever feet it is. And these developers, I guess, because I didn't see they drop it, but if you go down there, you would see the amount of boulders that is being placed on the beach. And then when you look at it in the hotel area itself, they have a lot of sand and things. Somebody need to take a serious look at it, because when you go out there and see what happening, this place is a place where the water comes, the tide comes in and bringing some debris. What is happening there? When the debris, when the tide comes in and it hit against that amount of big stone, where the water will go back and mash up the whole beach, and the other side there's a little hotel there. God forbid that will happen. I don't know how we could allow these things to be happening if it's money talk and everything else work. But the government needs to take a serious look at that. Other than that, we gonna be in season. This thing, jab is that thing that play all the time. They say that we country is a jab country. I don't know where they come up with that, but I know they know jab country. So my brother, I want the government to take a look at this situation that's developing in Las Vegas.
Okay.
Please.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Next caller. Next caller. What's up, caller? Come in. Hello.
Good morning, guys. Good morning.
Hi.
Good morning. Afternoon. My time.
Afternoon.
Okay.
Last week, you all was talking about a caller and said the former leader is very quiet. They're not hearing from him. Are you remember that?
Yeah.
Yes.
The same night, he was on live in Union.
Uh-huh.
In Union, by Subi's update.
Okay.
Union.
Uh-huh.
Where Ron Lewis come from. He was there in the same night, Thursday night.
Uh-huh.
Speaking.
Okay.
And also, I heard the leader of the opposition talking about rescuing Grenada again. Either yesterday or day before.
Rescue.
They have to come and rescue Grenada again. Did you actually say that? You only hear that?
No.
Well, I didn't hear what you're saying there, but I know for a while they were talking about that. That's way back.
No, she back with us again. She back saying it again.
What method did she say she was going to use to rescue Grenada? Did she give anything or just say it in words? Did she say how? Did she say how she's going to do it or the strategy to rescue?
She said she's not in the same room with the Prime Minister, and the election wouldn't be in 2027. It's June 2027, but she know it's going to be very soon. So they're getting ready now to rescue Grenada again.
Okay. Okay.
She said she's not in the same room as the Prime Minister. So they're getting ready. The party is ready to rescue Grenada again.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
There's a message.
It's a message. And
that vulnerable message.
10 months they use now, the election is only coming the same. The election is soon. It's very soon.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
No problem.
That's a great message. That's a message for the vulnerable.
Okay.
Vulnerable message. Don't worry about it.
Okay, caller.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much. Let me take a next call. Next caller, WhatsApp caller, come in. Caller, you on?
Hey, King, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. Yeah.
Mr. Joseph.
Afternoon, sir.
I want to make a comment on this caller that called about the jab, which our Prime Minister saying that the jab is too early. Well, as you see, I am calling a WhatsApp. I live in the United States. And this week and next week, the NBA Finals is going to play. And the season opens since November. But the finals is playing today, next week.
Yeah.
So we don't want the job finals to be playing this week because the finals are going to play in August. So the season open. We don't need the finals yet. We need to build up to the finals so that it will be an excited finals. So we don't want the finals to be happening today.
Right.
So the Prime Minister is right when he says it's a bit early. Because what we're seeing is the final outcome of the carnival season right now, and the build-up hasn't happened yet. We need the play. We need the regular season to go through and develop into something excited, so that it would be something that we long for every first, second Monday in August. That so we don't want to have it, and then it becomes something of no taste. The mango season started since January, but it's just ripened today.
Right.
So it's just ripened now. We have to let the season roll into having let it mature, so that when we taste it, it will be something worthwhile to taste. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. All right. Okay. Next caller. Thank you for waiting. Caller, come in. Hello. Caller.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. Yes, you're on now. Go ahead.
Yeah, yes. So how are you doing?
All right. Okay, not bad.
That caller that just before the one that described the mango thing make a lot of sense. But the caller before that I'm talking about, did he hear right? Did she say rescue or wreck?
Oh man! Wow.
I think the R word sometimes
Caller, what happened?
Could get lost.
Anyway, I call. I still hear.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Is not a matter. That is not really the matter. I just want to mention that. But the matter I really called. Did you see the clip with? Well, I know what to call him. Bias.
Tobias?
I think there's some toe before him.
No,
I saw it. Yeah, I follow it. Yeah.
But listen, he too biased.
But
he too biased.
Yeah,
too biased.
How we could say that ESC. No, wait. Even the blind could see.
You say past the
deaf could hear.
Past the halfway mark.
The pension was paid. How you could say you see nothing? They showed not. They had nothing to show for the 3 years. Oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
He too biased. Too biased.
I like that.
Something
Yes,
wrong.
yes.
But if you look at, I saw it in the video form, and if you look closely, when he's saying that, I know if you notice, he have a cheeky smile in the back. Look at the video closely.
Yeah. Let me tell you something, Tobias is my good pal, eh? We're a good friend. We have a nice
I
relationship.
know you said that before.
You got to take the bulls for him,
Yeah.
I know you said so, but
He's a good friend.
Good friend.
But it seems as though you're associated with the wrong people. You're
No,
past
No.
I think he misspoke.
No, we have to take Kim a little more seriously. First of all, Kim brought us his student, and then now you want to to us.
Yeah, where's him?
I know.
I know and I hear him.
Yeah, but Tobias, I think I want to say, he misspoke, and I don't think he really.
No. That's an excuse you're trying to be from. He ain't misspoke. I listened to the whole video because my son sent it from me. I didn't even see it on Facebook for myself, but he said it directly to me and I watched it and I listened. And you could see he know he's not talking the truth because he laughing at he's smiling in the back of his face while he talking at his own self. Because you know what he's saying is not true.
But I honestly believe that Tobias wants a second helping with NNP. Because since the thing with Mr. Telephone Man and Claudette Joseph and the way he came down, who Claudette thinks she is, and that. For a character as this boy who take all these people money and spend on telephone. How you could defend that? Huh? But by the way.
So you mean you want to go home? Oh, he come home.
Yes,
he was called. Come home, Bobby.
You want a second helping?
So you ready to go home?
Yeah, I guess. But he has to show his readiness. He can't just
loyalty. You have to show loyalty. Loyalty is the watchword.
No, just what you just saying there. Somebody made that comment to me too as well. They said to me they believe he's showing some kind of loyalty and maybe he wants to go back, because he can't do anything on his own. The way people speak, So, I'm not in a position to really say what I think he means, but he's been getting some fire for saying what he said.
Yeah, it sounds so. Come on, man. When the blind could see and the deaf could hear what's going on, you cannot come out there and say you as a man that have your sight and your hearing, you ain't see. Say something different.
No, but strange enough, in recent times, Tobias has never said anything complimentary to this administration.
Yeah. He has always found, something negative.
Yeah.
Something negative.
To Pongsan, and that is enough.
Okay, I could understand if they do one negative thing and you talk about that, but you can't say you ain't see nothing. Nothing.
Well, yeah.
They improved themselves.
Well,
just imagine that the pensioners listening to him saying that. What they gonna say about it?
He's too biased.
He's too biased. That's what the pensioners will be saying.
Yeah. Okay.
The pension, I just leaving it with the pensioners alone. Because you know why? The pensioners got a memorandum of understanding in the election, before the election gone.
Yeah.
And nothing was settled upon.
Yeah.
And the fellow, they'll go to Mr. Fellow say he didn't sign it.
Mm-hmm. I remember.
Bottom line is that the pensioners got a court judgment, no?
After they got the judgment.
Then you want from a commission.
After the court judgment, but I'm talking about before the court judgment, when a certain big chess guy made the announcement, but he still was in the union, make the announcement that they signed a MOU.
Yeah.
And up to now, the MOU was not ordered.
Right.
It was not thing. They never stood up and say, well, yes, they back down. You see, he didn't sign it. There was a MOU, but it was not signed by him.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Mr. T, Uncle Blaze boy, you turning in the grave boy. You're not a kayak. I believe you from kayak too.
No, but that's true, you know. That's true. He's from Petit Martinique.
I know. Oh yeah, well you're right, but I mean,
But it's still too
Martinique
close.
and kayak is the
Well, that's
same.
too close for comfort. And Petit Martinique Carriacou is one.
I think you live in Grenada too long.
Yeah, more like it.
Yeah, that sounds more like it. Anyway, for a man like his caliber, I would give him, who was opposition leader, chain himself to a table and all of that, coming and talk stupidness like that. No, it doesn't make sense.
No, you see, I could support somebody who is so-called poor and vulnerable. But when you are a professor at a leading university in the land, you can be hailing the performance of the NNP and saying, you know,
That's why I say a man of his caliber. That's why I say a man of his caliber, because I personally respect him for his profession and what he did and what he does.
Yeah.
I remember when he said, I don't know if you all remember that, when he said taking a ministerial post in the ministry when he won is like taking
remember that
taking a hand-on job. He be paid more at a school,
right?
And I admire him for that. For saying it like that.
He was straight
He'd
up.
rather be he was straight up.
Yeah.
And I admire that. I see the man is a big man. Because I know you had some ministers without portfolio and they had no other job during the time.
Okay.
Anyway. Anyway,
Thank you.
I'm listening.
Okay, God.
Have a blessed day.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye.
443-0101. 443-0101. 403-0101. And 458-1914. 458-1914. Speaking about not seeing anything, this seemed to be something that the NNP
is celebrating on.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Big
a
Eric
line.
in Carriacou,
It's a line.
Same thing.
It's one of the most popular lines. We didn't see anything.
No, that's the ammunition that was given to go forth and shoot.
See nothing.
Yes,
On rescue?
Yeah.
Well,
For a long time, people were talking about rescuing Grenada. I know who is trying to tell that too. But you're rescuing Grenada. You had 40 years to rescue, you don't rescue it. You won't rescue it in 40 months?
Well, I believe he was talking about his party when he mentioned rescue, because they need the rescue that he spoke about, you know.
And rescue the country from them.
Yeah, right. That's it, you know. But getting back to Carriacou and what's going to be taking place in Carriacou, you know, the chairman of the executive.
Oh, I mean,
it's been advocating. He's been giving the word out that he's interested in the position.
Okay. Namesake, right?
Yeah. So it can be Leopold and
why?
Bound to lie.
Listen, let's keep this unfiltered. I mean, I know it's unfiltered, but damn.
Vibes FM, caller, come in. Caller? Hello? You on now, caller? Okay. They're not listening. Okay. Yeah, so you see.
You don't have drugs in thing, man. Filter. Filter. Don't drugs.
Oh, okay.
Because I think somebody said, I said he's just supporting his relative or cousin or whatever it is, but I mean, you can't take people country and play the fooleries like that. No.
Well, it was mentioned to me that he is in a position of what they call standby. You know, like in a cricket, you have 11 on the team, and then you have a 12th man.
Yes, 12 man.
So he's like a 12 man or a standby. But the 12th man or a standby need to be equipped and efficient as much as the player.
Well, that's
they're going to represent.
Of course.
And sometimes even better.
In other words, the vice president should be capable in case the president dead.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, and he is the deputy. I mean, and what happens? We're not hearing much about the deputy. That way I asked a while ago.
how they plan to, because the deputy is supposed to be the one sharp and be there.
Well, what I've been listening to, quite a number of clips, something like that, that they have, on the different programs whenever they're speaking there. Nothing of substance is been talked about, and there's no plan, and it's all just criticism, just criticizing, and its criticism doesn't make any sense. But there's no merit.
As for me, as an observer, somebody who's living and been dealing with caracooses all my life, it doesn't take me, I don't need no binoculars to see the difference. It's so very obvious. I mean, the things that have been done in this short space of time and are still going on. The people, the people in British Martinique, I understand Cox is talking so much about this jetty that is taking too long or whatever have you, and that. The jetty in British Martinique that they were using.
Was it called a jetty?
I don't know, it was a baba. But then my man went on there and there's so much space and so much bad lumber on that jetty. Even the one in Windward, it was never repaired.
No, I remember the former Prime Minister, Beryl, when he went up there, and he landed on that jetty.
Yeah.
They had to navigate him where to put his foot.
Precisely. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, because otherwise you're going to fall in the water.
But the one in Windward is much better, And again, I have a picture of 69.
Yeah, you always talk
And it did
about
the same thing.
Right.
Nothing has improved.
Yeah. So, and when you want to come and talk about just and you live there and you're familiar with the area and blah, 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 blah.
No, I call that just ad lib. Whenever you ask these guys a comment, they just have to just speak and just say something. And it doesn't make any sense when they're speaking, but they still feel obligated to say something in the microphone because whatever they're saying doesn't make any sense. No. And as you living in a community, you ain't seen nothing. Even the last time I heard he was saying that he's on the back of when he come outside, he could see the fish market area, wherever. But you ain't seen the fish market, but you see the area. Yeah? And just now when he come outside, if you take a good jump, he might be jumping on a jetty, but you better jump good, because it's gonna be real. I mean, this is, but again, like I'm saying, there's no substance in whatever they are saying, and they feel obligated to say something. And this government is performing so well. I mean, it's shutting them up. It doesn't give them anything to talk about than just criticize something in some way. That's all. Just criticize something. Because you're not going to hear them saying what they're going to do, what they could do, and everything. You're never going to hear that from them. Because there's nothing to be done that is not being done now.
The line is, we were going to be, and everything was in the pipeline for them, In the pipeline, you come out at all.
Yeah.
It's in the pipeline.
Yeah. And I was even listening to some comments coming from them with the teaching hospital, the Project Polaris. And that is one of the best things that could ever happen right now in the Tri-Island state. Because it's something that we speak about, it's something that people are always concerned about, the people in the diaspora and all around, and even those living here, always have that on the mind, health. How do we improve our health? What happens? How can we do it better? Get the proper treatment that we need? Why do we have to travel out there to do it? It's so expensive. It's convenient. It's strenuous, whatever. And now you're going to bring it, and something of that nature. I mean, look at the team the people that they teamed up with, Mount Sinai.
But not only that, Kim, you're always talking about you're so concerned, you're caring for the poor and vulnerable. When are you most vulnerable? When you can help yourself and somebody that you're sick and so on and so forth. Well, aren't you doing anything for that vulnerable that you care so much about?
Yes.
You have all this money sit down inside, you won't pay the pension. For what reason? Wickedness.
You're planning to sing a Kayoso.
Yes. For whatever reason, you have the money, they pay the people the pension, they form a commission.
Yeah. And that making it, I mean, really. I mean, when you look at the whole, everything in particular, you realize that they have no intention of moving this country forward. Not at all.
The same intention you have of covering the tennis court. Yeah, same intention of pay the pension.
And speaking about the tennis court, Salio, I'm so impressed to see what's going on right now in where the community center was. I mean, that again, it's testimony.
We're having 2 there. 2 courts.
2 courts, 2 tennis courts.
Yeah.
And besides that, the cultural center would
Multipurpose.
be multipurpose. Well, yes.
Yes. Oh, yeah. It's not just as you say, cultural center.
Yeah.
Not just a cultural center. It's a multi-purpose cultural center.
But well, that's a good thing. I'm looking for. We want some tutors from Cuba. Eh?
Yeah.
Tell them, beg them, get some fellas from Cuba who could place a quarter, who could dance and so on. And if you see Tropicana, you'll understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Go to Cuba and experience Tropicana, and you'll understand what we're talking about. We want some Cubans, man. Well, is that right?
Because that will be in making.
Yeah.
You're going to find them, doing a lot in that when the center is complete. Vibes FM, caller, come in.
Good day, sir.
Yes, hello, yeah.
Tobias and MLP. I wouldn't talk about yours because they're all about the same. Now, after the Build Back Better started in Carriacou, remember MLP says nothing happening in Carriacou?
Yeah.
And what I heard on the news is that some people from Union Island came along to see the development in Carriacou.
Yep.
And they was amazed.
Yep.
So now you have to understand, not everybody who have eyes that could see, right? Now, Tobias is also speaking the same thing. And even at the time MLP speak up, I think I heard Kevin, it was Kevin, it wasn't Andy. Almost $30 million have been spent on Carriacou competing money. So I want to know if they use that money to feed them fish in the sea. Now, Tobias joined in the same thing. I guess he was looking for candidacy.
Yes.
So he's speaking the same thing. Now, he haven't seen anything done for the almost 3 years this government in office. What I want Tobias to do, look back at the 23.5 years that his NNP was managing Grenada in a destructive manner and compare it with the almost 3 years that the NDC in office. If you're going to put those things on paper, you're fooling more than a book of what the NDC do. And you can hardly fool a page in what the NNP do for 23.5 October. And a shame.
Good question.
I believe anytime people become part of the NNP, a lying spirit does affect them, that they cannot help it. Or you could be living in Grenada. You're watching things happening and you ain't seen it. Take any of the first term in the 3 blocks with the NNP in office and compare it with the 3 years that the NDC is in office. And there's a mismatch. People must learn to be honest. If me and you is friends and I am wrong, you know I am wrong, you should be correcting me. And if you feel, I'm going to feel how was it to say, if you tell me among other people, okay, call it back, but don't let me get away. Tell me by myself. Because you are my friend. You should be correcting me.
Right.
Anytime friend don't correct friend, you have no friendship day because you don't want to see your friend anything worse happen. And that direct correction is necessary. So when these guys are not comment, let me tell you something. If they feel depending on those social media badges that the NNP have, I wish I had the guy and the other girl name, They're styling the NDC ministers of government. All kind of derogatory names and comments. The party they support that need that. Not the little children that outclass the adults. Okay? You got to be very careful. Go on Facebook and watch what these people saying. Imagine Delma was the best MP or Minister of Government under the NNP. But now she's in NDC, she's the worst woman. Selling her in all kind of way.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if there isn't a law in place to put this thing right. Because you can't be doing things to people like that and getting away with it.
Amen.
There's a word that some of them does use. It is alleged. Don't come up, it is alleged. If you don't have the facts, shut up. Because what you're doing, as Kip Mitchell used to do, he know his people, the memory is poor and vulnerable. And there are certain words they cannot pronounce. They cannot remember. So they cutting it short. And I can never forget that when Dr. Mitchell started on Nazimbok, he said it is alleged that while Grenadians are suffering, Nazimbok is building 5 houses with swimming pool. What does the supporter say? You hear them on talk show radio.
Yeah.
Oh, Nazimbok building 5 houses. That's not what he said.
Yeah.
But he know fully well that they can't understand to that level. So they will say what they could remember, what is easier for them. And that is how they spread the garbage. I heard that guy, Kenneth, what's in the Kennedy Boulevard? He said on what was the program when the Grenadian from New York?
Right along.
Right along. He said Dr. Mitchell who tell him to say Deacon Zabula. He said when Dr. Mitchell want to bring down anybody that come up against him, he does do those things. Okay? And Kennedy said on the program, send the police to arrest me. They can't do me not make a die what he told him to do.
Right.
Say that about Deacon Mitchell. And all these supporters who saying it, none of them have the evidence. You didn't see. You hear somebody say. But here is a man that will come out boldly, okay, in the media and make it clear that Dr. Mitchell who told him to say that.
Right.
And I've known Dr. Mitchell respond.
No.
I mean, a man like Budwal, Dr. Mitchell should be looking to sue Budwal.
A long time ago?
Yeah.
But why you ain't challenging both Budwal? You reacting against that. But once his supporters hear that, they're gonna run with it. So they had the kind of social media linking him with funny man. Yeah? I mean, come on, I feel that Deacon is a lawyer. I think he should be looking up these things to see whether he could pull some case against these people, Anna, Augustine, and that. I find that is nonsense. I never supported even my good partner Kem Jones when he used to blaze Dr. Mitchell. I don't know. I can't say as him. Yeah? So I have nothing to say on what he said. He does say don't speak after him. All right? Which I quite agree. Because if he know, then he say. But you don't know, then don't say after him. So nobody heard me on radio. I'm listening to Dr. Mitchell. I say what I know is true. But these NNP, and if they feel they could win an election, being social media badges, because they have nothing to campaign on, that is why they're behaving like that. They have nothing to campaign on. You just come from an election where you lost, which you thought you would have won. The people turn their back on you. Prepare for the next one. See how you could organize yourself properly and create a challenge. What you doing on social media? Can that give you a vote? No. So let them continue until time catch up with them. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Those guys who have to be every time they come up with a story to debunk it. And I'm telling you, because I was thinking that Toby somebody I'd be able to that had a future in Grenadian politics, but I'm as wrong as to left it.
Well, I don't see that. I don't see that, and I'll tell you the reason I don't see that is because his intention was to build his own party, and I don't see that happening in Grenada, a third party. At the same time, same thing that Peter David is trying to do. I don't believe that would be effective at all. So, you know, when you have this kind of a idea going there, and it's like a dead end, that is it.
Right.
Yeah. It's like a dead end because unless Toby decides to team up and join one of the parties right now, like the NDC or the NNP.
Well, I mean,
stepping on the side.
Okay. How he left? I remember the circumstance of him leaving NNP was left or is remote. NNP, I'm asking. When Toby he resigned from NNP?
Right, he moved away.
And he was in the opposition. So
Right.
when he didn't remote, he left.
Right.
And I don't think
they forced him out, you know. They forced him out.
Well,
The circumstances, he couldn't deal with it anymore. That's why he decided to walk. Yeah.
So you walk in, right now you think he didn't walk fast enough?
Vibes FM? Caller. I wouldn't answer that one.
I don't know.
Caller, come in. Hello?
Hey, Chief, good evening.
Yes, go
good
ahead.
Evening, Leo.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
I was going to call because I've been listening to you guys. Tuesday night, NNP had a meeting. And then I listened to MMP. And MMP said, well, she sounded like Jane now. She said that the NDC have car following her to come to the meeting to hear what she have to say. So I don't know if she get a book from Jenny. It is one. I'll be listening. And then she said again that you could compare any 3 years from the 23 years that NNP was in power, and they did more than the 3 years that that NDC have right now in office. Now she's asking Grenadian to choose any of the 3 years. And I mean, so I don't know if you guys want to choose 3 years and compete with the with what the NDC compete right now.
When you already know the answer.
Don't ask it.
Don't make sense.
And I don't know why Leo following this lady in the meeting and what she has to say.
No, I don't go. I might follow them in Bogle this evening, but I haven't been yet.
I came on a quick note now.
Yeah.
Okay, the meeting last night, right? Okay, did you guys see the video, man?
I saw a video, a short video of the.
The video with the hospital. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
No, I didn't see that one. No.
We need to go and look at it because yesterday came. It's so ironic, right? That I was in Long Island yesterday and I passed in Mount Sinai and I was like, the building looked real nice and then. And then when I see the video, I was really taken in.
Yeah.
You guys need to look at the video to see like the drawing and things. It's really, really, really
What is talking about the rendering of the hospital?
Yes,
the hospital. I'm talking about Hotel Polaris.
Yeah, that you didn't see it yet?
No, I didn't see it yet. No, I've heard about it, but I was so busy. Yeah.
Yes,
I was so busy.
I went back over. What did I tell her last night? I looked at that video about 3 times, you know.
Yeah.
The drawing, everything is really good, man. You need to look at it, Kim.
Definitely.
From the helicopter part,
So you guys got to realize the campaign start now, you know.
Well, definitely.
Because I heard Bola say that they'll be having all the pocket meeting and thing right now. And if you see the crowd, they only had 12 people in the meeting, you know.
Well, I saw that clip. Imagine that. I mean, they had a meeting.
Oh, you saw the clip, right?
I saw that clip there, and believe me, you just mentioned 12. I think it was less than 12 when I tried counting, because you know I'm one who stopped the video.
Because you realize when Bola said NNP Heights, right? Nobody was really answering him. Then he went in the crowd.
But
because you realize the whole
don't call it crowd. You can't call 12 people a crowd. He went among them, those who were present, and tried to get them to respond. That's what he did. So, you know, but they're lacking and they're not going anywhere. And I could tell you, based on what I'm seeing and hearing on the ground, NDC people are just waiting for the opportunity to show the support. Because what we saw in Bossejou the last time we had the little thing there was just a little smoke, you know.
When you're talking about the blessing?
Yeah, blessings.
The blessing?
The blessing, yes.
Okay. Well, you could go ahead and look at that Bola tragedy.
Yeah, caller.
Okay, if you listen to okay, Tuesday again, Nimrod was on. You listen to this guy?
Oh yeah.
Look here.
This guy say Rando do nothing, you know.
Okay.
No, I just said I got scared when I hear you say Nimrod because I'm wondering if we had some resurrection or something.
You're talking about the one way run day.
Yeah,
But you see nothing done in Willie Sal's places and them, and nothing done at all, you know.
Well, no, nothing wrong. If you talk about Nimrod, they took both of them in the same position.
But
physically or politically.
But the thing about it, when he said so, a caller called and addressed him on that. And the caller was on point when he addressed him, saying what he was saying there, that's Nimrod was saying there, was not correct at all, was far from the truth. And but that's normal for them anyway. The whole idea with the NNP now is to say nothing happening, then see this, then see that, nothing. That's all. Nothing.
And look,
well, matter of fact, that's going to be the playbook going right through.
Nothing.
Well, and Kim, I have to tell Leo take the whole show, man. Leo, because once you bring out boat, now you know Leo ain't getting out of boat, right?
that was the whole idea, you know.
What we in the season, you know.
But if you had to talk boat, maybe you have to talk boat, man. You have to mention Onono too, man. You know, Onono was the guy that have every week. Onono have a boat every week too.
You know the name of the boat?
Huh?
You know the name of Onono boat?
All right. Okay, one was how they come.
Teacher boy.
And remember what he wrote on Teacher Boy C, both in a hole in a sort of
yes. So that's for radio.
So you're not talking boat, man. You have to bring up one of them, man.
Yes. No.
Every week, on no want to have a race. Last Bill a boat again.
Yeah, but that's
anyway. How is Carrico? How you guys been? Otherwise,
Carrico is fine. Carrico is doing well.
What tell you, man? Carrico fine, and this today we got a blessing. A blessing. Okay. A nice show, a nice downpour. So take care of the water situation. We was
getting yesterday too.
Yep.
Yesterday I was so glad and thankful yesterday, no?
And speaking about water,
anyway,
it's still overcast, eh? So we seem that we might get some more before the days out again.
But New York warming up, or is still same cool?
New York is in the 70s. We've been getting in the 70s, basically, yeah.
Oh, that's hot.
But you know, in the evening still have the little chill and stuff like that, yeah.
Okay.
But it's clean up nice, man. You could come back, you know, because the temperature pass what you always ask about once you pass your age.
The rule of thumb.
Anyway, you guys enjoy the rest of the day.
All right,
you too, buddy.
Kim, I send you some stuff in a few.
Please just send it. Keep them coming. Okay, thanks. I appreciate.
All right, okay, we talk later.
Okay, bye.
Right.
Okay, bye. Gentlemen, just about time for us to wrap it up, eh? Yes, John Pastor. Oh, ready and. I think today's program was very interesting. Very interesting.
Even though despite the fact that we had a late start.
But
I think that propelled us because we were waiting, and it was good, positive, and I think the callers were engaging, especially those on the line in comments section. They were engaging and made some very interesting observations. Yes, and I think that we need to continue this.
But yeah,
this has to be a way of life in terms of when we have issues to talk about, we come here and talk about it.
What stand out to me, is that when we had the participation of Andrew, out of he was calling us from Delaware, right?
Oh yes, Andrew.
And we also had Floyd coming in there, and we're speaking about something that's going to be taking place in the couple of months from now, say 2 months.
Yes.
Thereabouts, and it's interesting when this conversation start now. So by the time we get to that point, we have already decided where we're going, what we're going to do, and what's going to take place.
Yes.
Rather than waiting to the last minute.
Fortunately for us, we'll still have some semblance of regatta. Because a lot of boats will be sailing.
Right. Okay.
But it doesn't have to be only now. I think we should look at all the festivals through our lens were futuristic. If we're doing this now for Regatta 2025, we expect it to increase in its momentum. So this year, it will be what it is. But I think going forward, we have to secure that, and build on everything every year.
Carriacou has always been the initiator and for the region,
right?
And it's good that something like that is happening with the help of Bekwe, because we need to get that going again.
And I like the idea again of us coming together as a team, the Grenadines, unifying
in unison.
Yes. That means a lot to us.
Yes.
Our brothers and sisters, very important, so to go forward. So that's just about it, okay?
Thank you.
Okay.
The views expressed on this program are those of the host and guests and not the views of this radio station.
And that will just wrap up our program for today right here on Vibes FM, Speak Out Unfiltered. We want to thank you so much for your participation, those of you who called, and those of you who listened as well, and made your comments on Facebook, on YouTube. We thank you so much. Until next time, your humble servant, yours truly, Kim the King. It's always a pleasure.